Get nasty on a Friday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Jamie's on with us from 2 to 4 today. CD will join us from Champaign from 4 to 6. So guys are splitting duties today. 201, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. It certainly can, Jamie. It certainly can. Appreciate everybody being tuned in. You know how to get a hold of us. If you don't, let me remind you. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. If you want to send us any sort of text, you can. If you want to reach us via the mic drop feature, that's the Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the Dobbs Star and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app, you can do so. Or an early shout out to our group in the Snake Pit. That's our YouTube channel at 101 ESPN. Blues back in action tonight. Blues, Flyers. That's why Jamie's got to get out of here a little earlier tonight. The Blues have not put together, Jamie, have not strung together consistently good performances.
Nope.
I know that we can take things from nearly every game and say, this looked good this night, this was okay here. First period, second period, certain periods are fine, but they have not strung together consistent play. In your opinion, how do they build off of what we just saw against Calgary, which was a couple of days ago now, a couple of nights ago?
Yeah, I think they just got to play a simple game. Like, for whatever reason, and at the rink this morning, talking with Chris Bronco, we're sitting there kind of evaluating the team, and we both kind of agreed that, what you did last year is last year now. Like, you can't automatically think that that's the same team that's going to come rolling out again this year. Mm-hmm. And what you did at the end of last season is not sustainable for 82 games. The amount of hitting that they were doing, the amount of block shots, like, everybody likes it. Why can't you play at that every game? Well, you can if you've got a roster of 55 guys, because the bodies are going to start to give up.
Yeah.
But that being said, the Blues checking game just has not been up to par. And talking to some of the coaches down there, and they seem to think it's coming around. They're limiting some of the opposition's chances. The scores are starting to get a little bit lower. Specifically, the opposition scoring goals is getting a little bit lower. Let's not forget, they had that one stretch where it was 5 games in a row where the opposition scored 5 goals or more. So that obviously was not the recipe for success. So now when you look at the last couple of games here, obviously the loss to Washington 6-1, that one sticks way out, but everything else is kind of manageable. So one would think that the consistency, at least on the defensive side, is starting to return. I didn't say it's back. Yeah. Starting to return. And you also have to look at the goaltending. Goaltending has been very good. Seattle, Joel Hofer played very well. Binnington played very well against Calgary. Another big game tonight. So For this Blues team, it's tight checking. You're going to have to win playoff-style games. Right now, you don't have the horses to just run away with it offensively. And even if you think you have the horses aren't producing. So Thomas, Buchnevich, Holloway, Neighbors is hurt, Shen. All these guys are not putting up the numbers that you want them to put up. So you have to play almost that playoff-style, gritty, 2-1 victory, 3-2 victory. That's what you got to be looking for right now.
Do you think the Blues are missing desperation in their game? Because at the end of last year, they had a lot of desperation in their game given to where they were in the standings. I'm not really seeing that right now, but because of where they're at right now in the standings, do you feel like that desperation is starting to come around?
Yeah, and look, everybody loves to throw around the word desperation. Oh, they got to play desperate. I get it. It's basically there's playing with desperation, playing with urgency, all of the buzzwords, right?
And that's why I throw that word out there, because that's a word that we hear a lot.
We hear that anytime a team is slumping a little bit. They're not playing with desperation. They're playing without urgency, and all of that can be true at times. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're losing games because of it.
Okay.
Right now, I think the biggest thing, the one word that has been a big word for pretty much all of the teams in St. Louis in the last couple of years is
runway.
No, consistency. Because even last year with the Blues' epic run at the end, that wasn't consistent hockey. Like, it was on steroids hockey. They were playing fantastic. It was consistently awesome for 12 to 15 games. But what about the rest of the year? If you spread that over the whole entire season, it wasn't a consistent season. It was kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. And then you spiked at the right time, which is good. That's what you wanted. And it got you into the playoffs, and it got everybody's expectations set sky high for this year. And were the expectations set high by mistake, maybe? Maybe you think, oh, man, this seems way better than they are?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Time will tell.
That's a hindsight thing, right? Marsh, you asked a really good question a couple of weeks ago when you said, all right, if you look at last season overall and you just extract what they did after the Four Nations tournament, is that the Blues or what we're seeing, is that the real Blues?
The rest of the rest
of the resume. You know, it's like a quarterback playing well for the second half and saying, damn, this guy's good.
Hey, Nick Foles.
You're right. First half terrible, and now he's strung a couple of games together and it don't look good. So what is the right quarterback? But I do think all of that is in hindsight. We had every reason to have high expectations coming into the season. I still think we were realistic. Nobody was saying this is a cup team.
Well, Nick Kiprios did.
He did.
Okay, well, save for Nick, there's always the outlier. But we liked the linear progression of the team.
Yeah.
Jim Montgomery replaces Drew Bannister in what was it, November, December?
November.
It was November. Montgomery, we all bought in the narrative because it made sense. Once he got the team to start to play the way he wanted them to, i.e. after the Four Nations tournament, this is the real Blues under Jim Montgomery. He has a full offseason, full training camp with this group. The expectation should be high. I don't think that they have performed to their expectations. And Jamie has outlined the reasons why. I also think, and nobody wants to hear it right now, but it is reality, it's too early to know for sure what this team is. The results prove that this team isn't good right now.
Right.
But do we really think that Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas and Colton Parayko and some of these guys that are underperforming to certain degrees will underperform all season? I don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that have slides throughout the year. You know, what's the difference between it being in October and into November than it being in January and in February?
Right.
The difference is, at least for me, is that we had the expectations, or at least the thought process of this team needs to get out to a fast start so they don't end up in the same situation that they were last year, because while last year was great and they made the playoffs, that's not realistic every single season. So I understand the frustration from the fans right now.
But I'm not telling you not to be frustrated.
Oh, absolutely. They're definitely building their game, though, I believe. You're seeing it in small spurts. But
the last 5 games, 3-1-1.
I think at some point, though, you would like them to take over a game, dominate a game, put a team away, make sure we're not going to 6-on-5. I think that's what we're looking for.
Right? Like, so that's one thing we have to... You may not have that team that can dominate, that can run away with the game. You may actually have to be a 3-1 winner, a 4-3 winner. Like, you may have to be that team that wins by a goal, maybe 2 if you're lucky. And that's fine. But be a team that can lock it down then and be a 1-goal team. Yeah, you can't pretend to be a high-flying scoring team while trying to be a 3-1 or 2-1 team, because that's not going to work.
So with you saying that, does that change your approach? If you're Jim Montgomery, does that change your approach on the defense generating offense and stepping up into the play if maybe they should be a little bit more conservative on the back end?
See, I think that's wrong. Okay. Actually, I think it's false. And if you listen, I shouldn't say anything because I had the chance to talk to Jim Montgomery this morning. So, you know what? Full disclosure, I talked to Monty about a very similar topic. And so I'll introduce it to the group now, including all of our listeners.
You didn't have a wire on you.
Shh. What the hell, Marshy? It's a little foam microphone. You know what it is, okay?
Come on, man.
No, but I asked Monty about that. I said, hey, man, like, are you liking the way you're playing defensively? Should your defense be a little more careful? He goes, no. He's like, I want them to be more aggressive. He goes, we were at our finest when our defensemen were up in the offensive zone, pinching down the wall. We had great forward support. The other defensemen back in. He said, right now we're in between. Are we going? Are we not? Are we going? Oh, no. Those are going the other way. 3-on-1 now. He's like, and this is why Tyler Tucker is out of the lineup right now. Tyler Tucker is a player that anticipates the play very well, gets in, will pinch down on the half wall in the offensive zone, pinch at the center ice line. He'll take away time and space. Everybody's kind of sitting back a little bit on their heels. And I think Jim Montgomery would like to see Cam Fowler, Colton Parayko, Philip Broad be way more aggressive. But in order to do that, you have to have the support of the forward. So it all goes hand in hand. But he does not want the defenseman to sit back and just be like, well, we're going to sit back here. No, he wants an aggressive team.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. You can listen to the entirety of the Blues game right here on 101 ESPN starting tonight. We got the pregame at 6 o'clock. The puck will drop at about 7 o'clock. And again, you can listen to all the coverage on the Blues Radio Network and 101 ESPN. With Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marshall, Anthony Stalter, Carey Davis will join us coming up at 4 o'clock. Patriots get it done last night. No surprise. Here's your question, though. Do the Patriots have both the MVP and the Coach of the Year? And Probably. If they don't, can you at least make the argument? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Cheap, fun. Let's get dirty, St. Louis. Head over to Dirt Cheap, St. Louis's one-stop party shop. They have a massive selection of anything that you need over there. Friendly service and absolutely great prices. And the words Dirt Cheap, I've said it before. That's the price, not the product. I can tell you from my own personal experience, every time I go into Dirt Cheap, they've got everything I want, whether it's the high-end tequila, high-end bourbon, anything like that you're looking for, they can get it for you, and it's usually in-house, and it's not overpriced, which is the best thing about it. Let me tell you a little something about the Dirt Cheap Rewards app. It's awesome. Just download the app, and then you punch in your phone number. Every time you go into the location, you start saving immediately, and then you're able to see the specials that come early. You're able to get in on raffles for allocated bourbon and things like that, where people who don't have the app are not involved. So download that app. You can also place an order for pickup or delivery using the app. It is pretty friggin' awesome. I'll tell you that right now. And right now, Dirt Cheap, with the holidays right around the corner, they're going to take great care of you. So please get into all of their locations, any one of them. All the locations look awesome. Or you can visit them at cheapcheapfunfun.com. That's cheapcheapfunfun.com. Whatever your tastes, you'll find it at Dirt Cheap. Order ahead with that Dirt Cheap app. And remember to have fun, but please be careful out there.
going right. And then throws, caught by Diggs inside the 20 to the 10-yard line. Great improvisation.
You better get used to it, not only in the AFC East, but all around the league. This guy is a tremendous athlete. Instead of giving up on the play, it looks like that's like a Josh Allen move.
There was the sound from Thursday Night Football last night. You had Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, and boy, Drake May has been impressive. Now, let me qualify this, Jamie, because I know that a lot of people are going to say, "Well, it's only the Jets." Okay, we're not just talking about last night's game, because the Patriots won the game. They won it fairly convincingly. The Jets went right down the field initially, but everybody watching knew that wasn't going to last. Okay, so this isn't about what Drake May did it last night or has done in a vacuum. Let's talk about the overall performance from Drake May and discuss whether or not this kid is your MVP frontrunner. Last night, he was 25 of 34 for 281 yards and 1 touchdown in the win over the Jets. Trayvon Henderson went off. He had 3 touchdowns. He caught 1 from Drake May. Otherwise, the Patriots didn't really need Drake May to do a bunch. He's got at least one more game played than any other quarterback this season, but he does lead the league in passing yards with 2,800. He's got the third most touchdowns, and he is second in yards per attempt, average, the yards.
What's his TD to interception ratio?
He right now is 20-5,
that's
which is very impressive.
Yep.
I still think Jonathan Taylor is your MVP, but I could make a case for Drake May and talk myself out of Jonathan Taylor. Let's start here. The overall talent on that New England roster isn't that far off from what they had a year ago.
Oh, it's almost identical.
They added Trayvon Henderson, but Marsh made this point yesterday, and he's right. They just started using him because Ramondre Stevenson was still in the mix, fumbling problems and all. They were still giving Stevenson a good look. But Trayvon Henderson has just emerged recently. Stephon Diggs is good, but he's not in his prime. Everybody else, receiver at Demario Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, who's been injured the last 2 weeks, Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins is a competitive receiver. He isn't somebody you want to target 10 times a game.
Right.
The defense has played very well under Mike Vrabel. Still a defense that a year ago won great. Drake May has elevated that team. Jonathan Taylor is playing for a Colts squad that I think top to bottom is more talented. Yet Jonathan Taylor, I still think, is the key cog to the Colts winning. And I don't really think there's much of a debate there. Daniel Jones has been good, but I think things have opened up for Daniel Jones because of Jonathan Taylor. Who's opening up things for Drake May? Drake May has led the team in rushing more times than not. He has made plays happen consistently. He's been outstanding. I still think Jonathan Taylor's the MVP through 11 weeks or through 10 weeks and a game. But Drake May is right on his heels.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I do think Drake May has work to do, but when you dive into it like you just did, and where Daniel Jones, who's been very good, by the way, not MVP caliber, but he's been very good.
Yeah.
You look at his numbers, solid. He's good enough to where it actually opens up the game for Jonathan Taylor. Like, you have to fear the pass game enough to let the run game work for the Colts.
Yep.
Drake May's on an island. He really doesn't have... he is the guy. Like, Daniel Jones is not the guy. He works with Jonathan Taylor. Who is Drake May working with? Like, who's his Jonathan Taylor?
Up until the last 2 weeks, there hasn't been much.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think Drake May is the leader when it comes to MVP discussion. But when you look at the true MVP, is where would that team literally be without said player? Now, where would the Colts be without Jonathan Taylor? I don't know. 500, maybe? Maybe a couple games above?
If you replace, let's do it this way. If you replace Jonathan Taylor with a league average running back, they're probably 500, maybe below.
Okay.
A game or so below.
Where are the Patriots without Drake May?
You're probably the record's probably flipped. You're probably 2-8
That's what I'm saying.
or 2-9.
Like, for me, the MVP is what player impacts the game the most for their respective club.
Sure. Now we also need to add this. Obviously, the quarterback position compared to the running back position.
No, I don't want to do that.
The weight of it.
I don't want to do that.
It doesn't go with your argument. The weight of quarterback obviously is more.
That's a very good point, but it doesn't work in my favor, so I'm going to exclude it.
You know what? Let's exclude it.
I think the
Strager from the record.
the one name though that I think could take the MVP that we're not talking about specifically in this conversation is Matthew Stafford.
Sure.
You know, you take him off of that Rams team where they're also a really good team. Matthew Stafford, 4th in the league in yards, but he leads the league in touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Drake May, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
What are you weighing right there? Of course, you have Matthew Stafford, who's a Hall of Famer in my book.
I feel like this is the arbitration process where I have to crush a player that has been outstanding, but let's pick it apart.
I mean, we don't have to crush Drake May. He's having a great season.
No,
but
I'm talking about Stafford.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Go
Because
for it.
Stafford's been great, right? But if you're going to build an argument against
He also
Stafford
has 2 elite wide receivers.
and an outstanding running back in Kyron Williams, and
fair.
one that's coming about in Blake Corum, how's his defense too? This is something we don't talk about with quarterbacks. We often say, well, quarterback's best friend, give him a number 1 wide receiver, give him a versatile tight end and all this stuff. How good is the defense? Think about Joe Flacco's career early on. How great those Ravens, not the 2000 Ravens, obviously, but even when Flacco first came in the league, those Ravens defense were outstanding. They were in the playoffs consistently. He could lean on a running game. When it comes to Stafford, he's loaded with talent, surrounded by talent. He's got Sean McVay. Mm-hmm. Drake May. I was going to say Drake May is not able to lean on. Josh McDaniels is a great offensive mind. Not a good head coach, as we've seen, but he's a great offensive mind. So speaking of striking, I'll strike that from the records. The Rams too. If you're going to look at the Rams, while very good overall, have they ultimately been tested?
I mean, you can make the same argument about
the Colts
the Patriots.
What?
They won their 2 big wins, in my opinion, on the year against the Bills, who we have questions about, and a Bucs team that started off really well, but as of recent, they're banged up right now. They haven't been playing the same.
Yeah, but they still beat the Bills and the Bucs.
No, I know. I'm not. I don't want to take that away from them. But if you're going to make the argument who have the Rams played, you can make the same argument who have the Patriots played.
But the Bills and the Bucs.
My argument, though, would be one step further. Is coming into the year, we knew the Rams would be pretty good. We didn't know how good.
Did we, though? Because we had questions about Stafford even playing.
But that's the only reason, right?
That's the only reason.
That was the only reason I thought that the Rams wouldn't make the playoffs, is because I had no idea. I thought it was a Christian McCaffrey situation.
But doesn't that make it even more impressive what Matthew Stafford's doing if he was banged up heading into the year?
Yeah.
He's played 2 less games than Drake May, too.
No, he's been great. But again, this is the arbitration process.
Absolutely.
My point was more so before the Matthew Stafford back thing. Like, going into it, you look on paper and you're like, okay, the Rams are going to be pretty good.
But better than the Patriots on paper, absolutely.
On paper, you look at the Patriots and like, they're a couple of years away. Even with Vrabel, it's going to be painful for a little bit here.
Right.
And here they are, where they flipped the AFC on its head.
Well, the other, I want to give Drake May credit for this, too. He's been so good. We really haven't criticized him at all.
No.
Caleb Williams is leading a Bears team that has a winning record, and right now they'd qualify for a playoff spot. And we still do the ups and downs of Caleb Williams where we pick him apart, right? Jaden Daniels, didn't question him a year ago. Now we do, of course, because it's the health factor. Michael Penix, a lot of questions on him. J.J. McCarthy, a lot of questions on him. Bo Nix, there's been some questions now of Bo Nix, his play. What negative thing can you say about Drake May right now?
He looks like he's been in the league for more than 2 seasons.
Absolutely. It's a great point. When you look at his play, Penix and J.J. McCarthy, what are we doing with that? Well, they haven't played a lot.
Right.
It looks rough. Mechanical issues, this, that, and the other thing, right? J.J. McCarthy, last 2 years now. I haven't been healthy.
Right.
But hadn't played that much. Drake May hasn't played a bunch, and he has looked great.
Kid.
Yeah,
He's a kid.
The other factor
He's a
too.
kid who was overwhelmed under the last head coach, and now,
and he still showed some signs.
but he was overwhelmed. Not saying he wasn't good enough. The way the team was playing, the blocking, the schematics, I don't care what you do. It did not look like this. Vrabel comes in. He has stabilized this entire team on both sides of the ball. And Drake May looks like a damn MVP now.
That second part
on
is...
that note.
Yeah, I mean, it's unequivocally Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year.
So what about Shane Steichen?
What about him?
I understand from the standpoint
Put
of...
Vrabel and Steichen in a room and say, one of you comes out of here.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then Vrabel,
There
yeah,
you go. I
for
told
sure.
you, he's got to win.
Yeah. I like the way you argue.
Credit to what the Colts have done because Daniel Jones is their quarterback.
Yes. We didn't give them any hope.
And if you want to go back to last year, Kevin O'Connell with Sam Darnold is his quarterback, who we all did not have nice things to say about Sam Darnold's career.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have nice things to say about Daniel Jones's career, whereas Drake May is in his second year, and, you know, there's a reason why the Patriots didn't give away that draft pick because they knew that this guy would be what he is right now.
Right.
I don't know. I still think it's Vrabel, though. I still do.
I think
For head coach?
Yeah,
I think it has to.
I think you go either way.
What were the Colts last year, by the way?
Record-wise,
Yeah.
they were, I'll tell you in a second here, they were 8-9.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Patriots were 4-13.
I'm sorry. You have to look at what the difference has been.
It's been a complete turnaround.
You've added Mike Vrabel, and you've added Daniel Jones.
They could triple their win total from a year ago.
I know.
Triple it.
We should, based on what I see on the schedule.
Yeah.
We have a few people texting in. Mike McDonald with the Seahawks.
He's been terrific. Yeah.
That team's been really good. That team was also almost a playoff team last year.
They won 10 games.
So Ben Johnson with the Bears. You can make an argument for
You
Ben
could
Johnson with the
certainly
Bears.
do that,
There's still a lot
especially
of
if they
time
make
left.
the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting race here for the individual awards.
Who do you think has a better opportunity of winning their respective award, Mike Vrabel or Drake May?
Mike Vrabel.
Yes, I agree.
I think the hype around Mike Vrabel is much larger. I think people look at Drake May's success because of Mike Vrabel rather than Bill Belichick being good because of Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the way I'm getting it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting. All right, let's fast on 101 ESPN. Yeah, you're interesting. We have your shot to score a set of Cardinals opening day packs for the 2026 St. Louis Cardinals season. The Cardinals opening day pack includes two tickets to two Cardinals home games, plus a pair of tickets to 9 other games next season at Busch Stadium. Text in now to the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646 for your chance to win. I'll make this one a layup. Who did the Cardinals host last season in their opener? Who was the Cardinals' opponent for their
Arizona Cardinals?
home opener? No, the St. Louis. Our St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah.
Ball State.
Yes, that's correct. So I'll have to think of something else. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. If you have that correct answer and you're the 101st texter, you'll win the tickets. Cardinal ticket packs are now on sale. Find out all the St. Louis Cardinals ticket pack information now at cardinals.com/tickets. All right, Skinner set to play his first game. What does it mean for the Blues? It's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues back in action tonight, taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. And you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. Hunter Skinner is set to play in his first NHL game. What does that mean for the Blues? We'll discuss it next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh. And this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Skinner is in tonight.
I mean, it's a dream come true. I'm super excited for tonight.
He has energy. He loves playing hockey. You can tell it.
Plain simple, just being physically hard to play against, tight gaps, getting my shot through. I think using my feet.
He also has poise with the puck, but he's hard too. He plays the game with physicality and emotion, which, our team can use.
All right, there you go. That was Jim Montgomery, Blues head coach, and Hunter Skinner himself talking about the opportunity that is ahead of him tonight, as he's going to make his first. He's going to make his NHL debut tonight against the Flyers.
What a night for the young man.
What do we need to know about Hunter Skinner before we get into what it means for the Blues and all that stuff?
Yeah.
What do we need to know?
Well, can we just get into the fact first that it's his first NHL game, and he's got a chance to play it here in St. Louis on home ice. His parents are here, and thumbing through my text messages here, I can be a little more accurate, but apparently he's got a whole bunch of people that are coming to the game tonight. 10 total tickets.
Ooh.
That's awesome. I'm happy for the young man. I remember my first NHL game. Didn't have the opportunity to have anybody at that game. It was in Washington at the old US Air Arena. God, what a crap hole that was. But it was awesome. It was my first NHL game. Now, you asked me about Skinner. Skinner's a lot like Tyler Tucker. Now, he's not a heavyweight like that. Like, he's not going to throw down the mitts with Matthew Olivier or players like that. Mm-hmm. But he's not afraid. He's not afraid to mix it up. He skates very well, moves the puck. I call those guys one-pass defensemen. Meaning, like, some people say first pass, right? No, it doesn't have to be first pass. It can be second pass, third pass. Good pass. A good pass defenseman. Mm-hmm. Meaning, like, he moves the puck well. He closes gaps. He's super excited to get in the lineup. And I think this team needs a little bit of a jolt right now. From what I understand, they're missing a energetic presence on the blue line. It's very calm. And you look at some of the personalities, and I never thought about it, but you look at some of the personalities on the blue line that are very serene. Cam Fowler, very Colton Parayko, very serene. Philip Broberg, very serene. Justin Falk doesn't say much. Mm-hmm. Matthew Kessel's not going to say much. Tyler Tucker doesn't say much. You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
And it's not like the guy that kicks over the drink table. Where's everybody? No, it's like a little bit of energy. Show me a little bit
of sandpaper.
Something, mm-hmm. And I think this kid might have it in him to do that.
Well, his penalty minutes and his size would suggest that he'll play a tough physical game.
Yeah.
So.
And talking to the kid today, I love talking to the young defenseman. First of all, I love talking to the players when they're about to play their first NHL game. Just go over, congratulate them, welcome them to the brotherhood. As corny as that sounds, there's not a huge percentage of people that get to play in the NHL, mm-hmm. specifically when you look worldwide at the amount of kids who are playing hockey. So to get a chance to play even one game in the NHL is you've gotten to the top of the food chain, at least for a game. So I always like to congratulate them mm-hmm. on that. And then, hey, I love to ask them, what does your best game look like? Well, I'd like to be physical. I say, okay, everything you just told me, go out and do it tonight. If you don't do one of the things you just told me, you've cheated yourself. Because this team is putting you in the lineup for that reason. All the things that you said, that's why you're playing in the NHL tonight, is because you do all of those things well. So what a shame it would be to not do one of or two of those things and leaving yourself short.
Yeah.
So go play that way. So I think we're going to see an energetic, upbeat, up-tempo Hunter Skinner tonight.
And for those that may not remember, Hunter Skinner was the player that the Blues acquired in the Vladimir Tarasenko and Nico Mikkola trade. So it's nice to see
People
that
are calling
player,
it the Skinner trade now.
The Skinner trade. It's nice to see that player that the Blues acquired finally get his chance to make an impact on the Blues.
I think this is also the player that BT was like, yeah, let's go to the Hunter Skinner concert. He's got that name where it's he's like a old school rock and roll, like 80s. Let's go to the Hunter Skinner concert.
So now, in saying so, introducing Hunter Skinner to the fold, means somebody's out.
Yeah, we need to welcome somebody to the press box.
Yeah, so Matthew Kessel, right?
Yeah.
Revolving door. There's Logan Mailloux, Matthew Kessel, Logan Mailloux, Matthew Kessel. Nope. Matthew Kessel staying in.
So who's out, Jamie?
Tyler Tucker.
Here's Monty at Morning Skate on what he's seen from Tyler Tucker.
I'm seeing him give up more time and space than he did last year. Last year it was consistent. He didn't give it up. This year it's been inconsistent. And we had a good talk about it. And I know when he gets back in, he's going to be the aggressive, physical, and even in the offensive zone, he's not as aggressive as he was last year.
So, Jamie.
Yes.
My hockey knowledge, thankfully, any hockey knowledge that I do have comes straight from you.
That's not true.
No, it is. It is. You have broken down the game for me. Personally, when we're doing, pre-show stuff, or just from what I gather from watching you on TV, or obviously alongside us here on 101 ESPN. I'm not trying to take any cheap shots. If I can recognize that Tyler Tucker has guarded the post more than he has defended a large sheet of ice, I'm sure Jim Montgomery and his coaching staff says this isn't the same player that we had a year ago. And he looks like somebody that is either lost from a communication standpoint with his teammates, and you have broken that down too, whether or not there's some a lack of communication to make sure that everybody is on the same page whenever they're jumping, a defender is jumping into a play or forward's jumping into a play. Hey, I got this guy. But Tyler Tucker looks lost out there to me, who knows very little about hockey.
Yeah, no, look, he's had some bumps in the road for sure. I think Tyler Tucker's best game is, like Monty said, when he's aggressive. Let's go back a couple of years ago, and I said this not too long ago. Tyler Tucker was supposed to be a mainstay under Craig Berube. His anticipation was great. He was pinching up in the offensive zone, hitting guys, good first pass, good shot from the point, all that. Then Tyler Tucker's developed a little bit of a pattern where I'm not saying this because I know it just seems like he gets comfortable. And then certain parts of his game start to go sideways. Then he gets pee-pee whacked again, and he gets back to his game. Mm-hmm. He went back to the minors, didn't make the team out of camp, then he came back, then he played great. So this is a pattern now that Tyler Tucker has to change, though, because he's getting to the age where if this is truly the pattern, this is the player. So he'll become player number 7 on any defense. He'll be that guy until somebody who's younger can do that, and then he'll be playing somewhere else in the world. But just the way it is, I know.
Yeah.
So for Tyler Tucker, it's a great moment for him to go, I don't really like this feeling. That's my spot, and this kid's in my spot. I'm not saying he's mad at his teammate. He's mad at himself. But the only way back in the lineup is to outplay the guys who are now in the lineup. And he's not going to be able to do that from the press box. So the next time he gets his chance to play, he has to make sure that he doesn't ever leave again. And some of these reminders are good for young players, especially right now where you have a defensive core for the Blues where it's top 4 and everybody else. Mm-hmm. Look at the minutes played. They don't trust anybody else right now. And that's fine. I've been in that bottom 2 as a young defenseman that was not trusted. But you got to earn your trust. You got to keep grabbing as much as you can. Keep moving forward. You go from 10 minutes to 11 to 12 to 13 to 14. All of a sudden you're like, nah, he's a mainstay. The revolving door now is on the other side. We got to find another guy who can play with Rivers, another guy who can play with Tucker, like whatever it is. But that's the player's job at that point. Player asks for the information. This coaching staff, I know, gives it to them. Here's the why. Now you go fix.
And you brought this up before. Maybe they're missing a veteran defenseman in that bottom 2. I wonder, is Tyler Tucker suffering from not having Suter out there, not even from an on-ice thing, but more so off the ice? You talked about them having conversations on the bench. Hey, this is what I'm seeing. Give me all the information that you have. Is he missing that right now because he's playing alongside another young player?
It's tough to tell because, unfortunately, I'm not around the team as much as before. But I've always been a huge believer in having a veteran guy back there. Like, even when I came in the league, and I've referenced when Chris McAlpine and I were the two young guys, we always had a wily vet that was defenseman number 7 who could step in, give you 15 minutes a night. No problemo. Now, you didn't want him in the lineup because you want your young guys to be playing. But if you needed him, he was there. And at practice, he was there. In the weight room, he was there. On the road, he was out to dinner with you. And you tell that veteran player, listen, the only reason you have a job is because, 1, you can still play in the NHL, but 2, you're an extension of our coaching staff. So if you don't play for 10, 15 games in a row, don't whine, because you're still making NHL money.
Yeah.
And you're a big part of this team. And usually those guys, they have the carrot too. We'll also be looking to add you to the staff at some point in the future, whether it's scouting, front office, coaching. You profile to be said guy. That's why I see that to be important. Right now, you have your 5'6", 7, which is 6'7".
I got to show you guys a video from last night. I believe it was the South Dakota women's basketball team. All these little kindergartners were going nuts when they scored the 67th point.
Oh, boy.
All right. You can't miss. But no, you need that guy, in my opinion. Especially if you're going to have 2 young defensemen as your 5'6", as you're not quite sure of, then you better have that safety valve, too. And right now, they don't. So you got to figure it out.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN, and we do have the Blues and Flyers pregame right here on 101 ESPN starting at 6 o'clock, then on the Blues Radio Network. 7 o'clock, puck drop. Again, you can listen to all the coverage on 101 ESPN. Marsh should have thought about GMs and how it might be convenient just to follow the status quo. That's next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to sell your home anytime soon here in the St. Louis area, please don't make the mistake of just picking any real estate agent out there. Please pick the one that's going to sell your home quickly and for the most money. That is Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've talked to Gloria several times, and she talks about her buyers in waiting, that she has thousands of buyers waiting there. And I asked her, I said, why is that important? And she said, because once we price the home accordingly, there are lots of eyeballs to get to see that house first. So as soon as she lists that home, she already has buyers sitting there wanting to purchase that home. That certainly increases the speed of selling the home, and hopefully you're getting 100% market value for your home, because that's what Gloria Lou wants for you every time she sells a home out here in the St. Louis area. So please pick up the phone, call Gloria Lou, tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number's 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888, or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We got Jamie with us until 4 o'clock. Carey Davis will take over from 4 to 6. He's up in Champaign getting ready for the Illini game tomorrow. Marsh, I know you had a thought the other day about general managers in sports or presidents of baseball operations, because in baseball the president typically makes the moves, not the GM. Mm-hmm. But you had the thought about how some of these guys kind of follow the status quo,
right?
And whether or not it winds up being easier for them to do so, but not necessarily what's best for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I came across a post on X, and this guy was complaining about, I don't even know what GM that he was necessarily complaining about. I think it was the Dallas Mavericks GM.
Oh, yeah, because it was
a lot
the
of
day.
people complain about that one.
No kidding. And it was the day that he was fired, so that makes sense.
So it got me thinking about, okay, well, some of these general managers, or at least the people that make these big decisions, do they just kind of go with the status quo for job security because they know that, well, if I do this and I take too big of a risk, well, maybe my job is on the line. So I'm just gonna sit back and do essentially the bare minimum to keep us afloat financially, make sure the ownership is happy, all these things. But we're not necessarily making our franchise a better team. We're not getting better. We're not getting worse, but we're kind of just stuck in the middle. And I wonder if like market size has anything to do with that. But I feel like this is a thing throughout all sports, and I'm sure that this particular conversation may hit home for some fans here in St. Louis.
So I think ultimately your answer lies in the ownership. Leadership/ownership, because it's just like if we talk about players. Well, he's playing not to make a mistake. Why is that? Because the coach absolutely just benches him or berates him, so he's terrified to try and make a play, so he just tries to do things that don't get him in trouble. Mm-hmm. And so if you have an ownership group that's not willing to spend, not willing to, that they're risk averse, where have we heard that before, by the way?
Right here.
Yep, right here. If you have an ownership group that's like that, then it's tough for the GM to go and do his job with huevos rancheros.
Right.
Like Doug Armstrong has full support of Tom Stillman and the ownership group. They literally say, bring it to us, present it, like your idea, your concept, back it up, and then you go do it. Go do you, because that's why we hired you.
Right.
So shame on ownership groups who handcuff their GMs, because you're giving him the title, you're giving him the money, but if you're not giving him the authority to be who, what are we talking about? I just talked about it. Hunter Skinner. Go be the player you're supposed to be. Right? Same thing. Go be the GM that I hired because your boy Wonder, but no, at the same time, I'm going to put kryptonite on you so that you can't use your superpowers.
Right.
Makes no sense. So the GMs that are out there, I don't necessarily fault them because sometimes they're being told.
That's true.
No, don't. We're not making that. And they always have to run it up the food chain. So if the owner's sitting at his desk and he's in a bad mood that day and you've got a great trade where you can acquire a player for the future, years to come, all this, and he goes, I don't like that deal. We're not doing that. Okay. So now you become a GM that's just happy with the status quo, but you're really not. So I think that's the part. We'll call it the Wizard of Oz effect. Nobody ever knows what's going on behind the curtain. You only see the great, powerful Oz, the great, powerful GM and president of baseball operations or football or hockey. But behind that is somebody else who's actually pulling all the cords, going, nope, yes, no, yes, no. So I think that's the bigger issue is the ownership groups who don't give the power to the person that they hired and they're paying a bunch of friggin' money to.
Yeah, I think that is a problem too. I do, because if you're an owner that promotes taking risk, if you're an owner that says, hey, you're going to make some calculated decisions here that backfire, and the results aren't going to be there, and the fans are going to want me to fire you, but I want you to think outside the box, because that is more important than to go with the status quo. Because if you go with the status quo, what really are you doing? Well, you're going to miss out on competitive edges that we have seen are vital in every sport. Right? The Cardinals used to be so far ahead of things. Eventually, the league caught up, and what? They stuck with kind of the tradition. They got way too outdated, to be kind, but they start to prioritize maybe the gut feel over the data. This worked before, so I'm just going to kind of stick with this. They're slower to fix problems. They're slower to fix broken processes. I mean, these are all things that kind of fit the Cardinals, to be honest with you. But I think when you're a young GM, you're either like Theo Epstein was, and you're like, listen, I got this position. I'm going to make the most of it. I know I'm young. I know I'm going to trade Nomar Garcia-Parra, who is like the guy. But what I'm seeing right now, we got to get better. I'm going to roll the dice.
But what did Theo Epstein have?
The backing of the ownership.
Backing of the ownership. So even though he was a young GM and people were skeptical of such a young guy taking over massive teams, like not just like the Orioles, the Red Sox, the Cubs, like he was given teams.
Yeah.
He was allowed to do his job.
Yes.
At all cost.
And he had the huevos rancheros as well as the backing to say, I'm going to do it this way.
Yes.
I think a lot of GMs misfire because they're trying to be the... They're trying to win the press conference. It's easier to say, I'll just stick with football. It's easier to say, I drafted the 6'4" quarterback with a rocket arm. How's his accuracy? Don't worry about it. I got the 6'4" guy. It's easier to just say, I drafted the guy that everybody else thought was going to be good. I wound up he's not good. As opposed to being the GM that's like, you know what? This Russell Wilson guy is incredibly smart. He learned 2 different playbooks coming out of NC State and Wisconsin. 2 different playbooks, by the way. Learned it in less than 30 days. He's short, so we're going to get crushed on that, but I'm going to take him in the 3rd round, and I like his competitiveness, and I like his attitude and all this stuff. Boom.
And he's athletic, played 2 sports.
Now, it worked out very well in Seattle.
Musically
Eventually,
inclined.
yeah, absolutely. Eventually, it didn't work out in Denver, but it's much easier to take the first-round pick that everybody loves, and it misfires like, not my fault. That QB just didn't work out.
Well, and to Jamie's point about ownership, it kind of reminds me of the Rams. Like the Rams and the moves that they made when they were here in St. Louis were very just not risky, right? Like, and they stunk. They were not good.
Well, now we know why.
But then they go to LA, and all of a sudden they're trading all their first round draft picks to try and build a Super Bowl winner.
Now, I would say that was strategic.
Absolutely.
From a scumbag standpoint. You know, I don't think that was like, we're risk averse. It was like, we want to get the hell out of St. Louis.
All right. Yeah. I also don't want to give a bunch of credit to Jeff Fisher, though. Because Jeff Fisher, as soon as he got
he's
here...
the perfect guy for mediocrity.
I know.
and a relocation.
I get it. Jeff Fisher, I wonder, he kind of suffocated Les Snead's creativity. Because Jeff Fisher, as soon as he got here, he started bringing in Jared Cook, Cortland Finnegan, guys that he was familiar with in Tennessee. And I understand if those guys are free agents and you're familiar with them, okay. But he kind of went the status quo route, too. We're going to take this guy. We're going to take that guy. We're going to take, and Les Snead, from what I remember, kind of had picks 4 through 7 in the draft. Fisher typically went like 1st, 2nd, 3rd rounds. Get to LA, they dump Fisher, and Snead's like, F them picks.
Yeah.
Won a Super Bowl. I think part of that was just suffocating his creativity.
Quickly.
Yes. And Snead also hired Sean McVay.
Like the best coach in the league.
But we thought when all those picks went out the door, like once they won their Super Bowl, we're like, okay, this is going to hurt now. The next 5-6 years, this is going to hurt.
And he's just
it was like a year.
Reinventing
and
himself.
then boom.
Yeah.
Right back to being what I'll say is relevant.
Right. He's been there for a long time now.
Yeah.
As we know. All right. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. Let's keep rolling here in the Fast Lane. NFL Week 11 entrance survey. So last night we saw Patriots Jets, but when it comes to a team that you might have like spotlighted, quarterback that's got the biggest questions going into the week, things like that, we're going to break down the matchups next on 101 ESPN. 3:06, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. NFL Week 11 entrance survey. All right, boys. Which team this weekend do you have spotlighted? So it's a team that you can't wait to watch because of the matchup. You're intrigued by them overall. So this isn't from a negative standpoint. This is like a positive standpoint. Like, I can't wait to see how they fare.
Yeah.
Who's the one team you got spotlighted?
I'm going to stay very, very local for me. The Detroit Lions. They got the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a clash of the Titans right now in the NFC. Dan Campbell, a lot, and I mean a lot, being made of him taking over the play calling. The analytics nerds loving Dan Campbell, going over his play selection, his offense every time he's called plays, and it's off the charts, the amount of yardage they're getting, all that. How does that fare against the defending Super Bowl champs? Now, they've got the flip side of that. It's not just the one team, it's the game, because now I want to see, what's Philly got?
Yeah.
What's their punch back against the Lions? Is A.J. Brown, are they going to feed the hungry mouth a little more to keep it quiet or not? Are they going to stick to the game plan? So for me, there's a whole lot of fun in that game, but if we're isolating one team, it's the Lions. What are they? Are they truly a Super Bowl contender? And can they be even more with Dan Campbell calling offensive plays now?
For me, it's the Denver Broncos. You know that at the beginning of the week, I called them fraudulent. They take on the Chiefs this week. They're in Denver, so obviously they're playing at Mile High. And but this is a AFC West divisional game. The Broncos, in my opinion, out of the teams, the top teams in the AFC, I have the most questions about them. Now, the Chiefs, they're 5-4, but we know the Chiefs, I think, are better than maybe what the record is, or maybe they're not. I don't know. I really don't know at this point, but I do believe the Chiefs are a better team than the Broncos. The Broncos do have a really, really good defense, but there's so many questions for me with Bo Nix. And the way that they're winning games, I don't know how long you can sustain that for. I'm interested to watch them play this week. They're a 3.5-point dog at home. J.K. Dobbins is banged up. Not that they ever run the ball, but what is Bo Nix going to do against Kansas City?
Yeah.
That's the game that I'm really looking forward to watching. Obviously, there's some other really good ones as well, but I'm going to stick with the Broncos given what I said earlier in the week.
So I chuckled because, one, you're right. They're winning games that the Jets game out in London, that wasn't pretty. They had to storm back against the Giants at home as a large favorite. That didn't look good. The Texans, they barely got by Houston on the road when C.J. Stroud got hurt in the first quarter. And then last week against the Raiders, that was just flat out ugly. But I chuckled because it reminds me a little bit
of the team they're playing.
The Chiefs last year, every year, like, how long can they do that? Well, they did it up until the Super Bowl, and then they got waxed.
So when's the floor going to fall out?
Right. This is the matchup, and I could put either team in this category of, like, spotlighted team. I'm excited to see what the Chiefs do because I still feel like this is the team to beat in the AFC, but they haven't always played like it.
Right.
5-4. They're 1-3 on the road this season. Denver's 5-0 at home. And Denver, I think, is spotlighted because the record looks good, but the play hasn't looked great. Defensively, they can win any game, but can Bo Nix continue to make enough plays, just enough plays to win games? So I think that both teams fit in that category for me. All right, Jamie, which team do you have under the microscope? Scrutiny, needs a win. You have a ton of questions about, and you're just like, all right, I'm going to watch this game just because I want to see what you do.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills for me. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when we look at, kind of what they've been doing here recently, they've lost one in a row, so it's not terrible, but they do have some injuries. Tough game against the Patriots. But for me, it's the Buffalo Bills. Like, what the hell are the Buffalo Bills? So that's the one team I've got under the microscope.
So I'll just add to it because just like I did with the Chiefs and the Broncos being kind of spotlighted, the Bills-Bucks game is my microscope game. Like, Buffalo loses at Miami. How do you respond? Does Josh Allen, does he have to wear the Superman cape every single week for you to win? Can you stop the run? Tampa can't really run because Bucky Irving has been out for over a month now. Baker Mayfield was kind of like what we were talking about with the Broncos, the Buccaneers, not just Baker. But the Buccaneers were really what we were talking about with the Broncos earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. Rabbit out of the hat every week. Should have lost, didn't, won. But the last couple of weeks now, they're banged up against Detroit and lost that one. Didn't look pretty. And then last week, they hosted New England. And I thought New England, outside of maybe the first quarter, New England controlled that game. And I didn't think Baker Mayfield could elevate the Buccaneers like he was doing earlier in the year. So that is the matchup to me. Like, all right, I know both of you are good teams. I know both of you are probably going to make the playoffs. But what issues stand out? Whose issues stand out more in that Buccaneers-Bills matchup? What about you, Marsh?
It's Carey's Pittsburgh Steelers, still in first place in the AFC North, but those Baltimore Ravens are like Michael Myers just walking down the hallway.
Slow.
Very slow.
Knows what he's doing.
But he's eventually going to get you. The Steelers have a winnable game this week against the Cincinnati Bengals. However, we call it the Bengals special now. Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh early in the season. This time the Steelers are at home. They need to win this game because if they lose and the Ravens end up catching them, it's over. You got to keep winning, and it starts this week.
I'm with you on that one. All right, which quarterback needs to have a great performance? Individual, like for him individually, or leading his team to victory?
There's so many this week.
Like who needs to have a game?
The individual or the
individual QB?
Individual / team.
Yeah, it could be both. It could be either.
Oh man, like I look at Caleb Williams. I think this is a big moment for him. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, you could say J.J. McCarthy. It's a big game for him in a divisional game against the Bears. I look at Aaron Rodgers. He's got to have a big game when you look at that particular matchup. Sam Darnold, he also has to have a big game because the Rams are favored in this one, and that's a heck of a Rams team. Stafford, we know he's having an MVP caliber season, but the Seahawks are right there too. So I don't know if I can narrow it down to just one. Lamar Jackson, he's got to have a good game. I know it's the Browns, but they have to keep winning.
For me, it's Bo Nix.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Bo Nix because, and here's why. Denver's good enough defensively to, like I said before, to win any matchup. But Patrick Mahomes is eventually going to get you. If you can hold him to 20 or fewer points, I think you feel pretty good about that. If you're even a stout defense like Denver, you hold them to 20 or fewer points, you feel good about it, right? But I don't know if Bo Nix and the Broncos have multiple ways to beat you offensively. As Marsh said, sometimes they're running it, like against Dallas, their running game was outstanding, but that was against Dallas. And Dallas doesn't set the edge. Their front seven sucks. Like, nothing, there's no takeaway there. Bo Nix struggled against Houston until the fourth quarter. Bo Nix struggled against the Giants until the fourth quarter. Bo Nix struggled against the Raiders virtually all game, but had his better moments in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you can win that way against Kansas City. If you don't play well for three quarters or you're shaky for three quarters and then you hope to turn it on against Mahomes in the fourth, I don't think that you can win that way. So Bo Nix to me is the one QB that I got under the microscope.
So I have two. Jamie mentioned one of them. Sam Darnold takes on the Rams this week. That's a team that he lost to twice last year. Mm-hmm. The playoff game did not look pretty. And if you look at the wins for the Seahawks, I believe the Seahawks are a good team. I really do. But if you want to look at the schedule and who they've played, they have not beaten anybody significant, in my opinion. The Steelers, the Saints, the Cardinals, the Jags, the Texans, Commanders, Cardinals. Do you see any outstanding team on that schedule right there?
Outstanding? No.
Okay, so this is a prove-it game for Sam Darnold in that offense with Seattle.
I like it.
So that's one of my picks. The other one is Jordan Love.
Ooh, I thought about him too.
I thought about him.
You need to make sure that you go when you take on the New York Giants, that game ain't close. Defense will do their best to stop Jameis Winston, who we know is going to throw the football. He loves to do it. He'll just throw it up there.
Yes, he will.
So I don't know what we're going to get out of the Giants offense. I really don't.
You do know. You're going to be able to get about 3 touchdowns and 5 picks.
So can Jordan Love stop the narrative that he is a wishy-washy quarterback? Just go out there and play, man. You got to play good, because that team right now, they're losing games that they should not lose, and they'll quickly fall out of a playoff spot if he continues to play the way he is.
All right, last one. Which head coach or coordinator faces the most question marks this week? Personally, it's Zach Robinson for me. But that would be
that
my
question specifically.
That would be my answer.
He did it on purpose.
That'd be my answer every time. I got one. How about Dan Quinn?
Not really,
You're
though.
3-7. You're playing a 3-7 Dolphins team. Like, we just got to give him his quarterback. Even when he had his quarterback, he won good.
I know you've got it out for Dan Quinn, but I don't view it that way.
Fine.
His number one guy's been out for most of the season.
Fine.
Quit being that way.
No, I won't.
It's unbecoming.
Ever. Not now, not ever.
I mean, is there really a coordinator or a head coach that we don't already have an idea of their future that's playing this week?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It doesn't even have to be the future. It could be the immediate future.
Like Matt LaFleur? Like, he's not going anywhere, but like,
I think they should dump him.
Send him to Atlanta?
I mean, what does he want? You know what I mean?
I've got one, and it's the head coach, but it's Nick Sirianni. I know they're 7-2. They've had a successful season. They're defending Super Bowl champs, but there seems to be turbulence all season long surrounding this team and certain individuals in particular. And I don't know if you guys saw, Jalen Hurts was asked about the A.J. Brown stuff, and he did not discard it. Like everybody else is kind of like, like Carey, some people on ESPN, Jalen Hurts did not discard that. He basically said, it needs to stop. Like we need he's like, we need to be worried about winning football games. And he goes, I will be talking to him. So if that's the case, like for me, it's like, what can Nick Sirianni keep this all duct taped together before it falls apart?
He did last year.
He did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He did. I'm just saying, it's interesting to me.
The Eagles are like that dysfunctional couple that just works.
And this team, but they're playing the Lions, right? Mm-hmm. So if the Lions come out with their A game, there could be a lot of in your face on the sidelines because it ain't working on the Eagles side.
You ain't wrong, Jamie.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm right, but I just find it intriguing.
Either way.
You asked me my opinion.
And I loved it.
You didn't say it was a yes or no question.
And I thought it was fantastic.
Opinion. Right, Marshy?
It was an opinion.
It was excellent.
Thank you.
It was an excellent opinion.
Now, Anthony doesn't have to like your opinion.
Correct. But what he can't say is, oh, you're right or you're wrong. Like, he can't.
It's like philosophy.
He say, I disagree.
Because that's his opinion.
Correct. His opinion doesn't necessarily mean he's right either.
Took a philosophy class.
Probably not, based on the odds.
Yeah, probably. You're right about that, Jamie. Won't disagree with you there. Took a philosophy class one time at Central Michigan. Loved the shirt today, by the way, Jamie.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Fire up chips today. Marsha didn't even notice it.
Did you notice it? I did not right away. It took me looking at the snake pit for somebody to say, hey,
awesome.
Jamie's repping Central Michigan.
Great shirt. He would have never thought in a million years he would have a Central Michigan T-shirt.
So I didn't notice it because the computer was blocking the lower half of your body. So all I saw was Central, and I was like, I wonder what that is.
Yeah.
Well, I the other night when my Bulls, the Buffalo Bulls, our Bulls, Carey, when they failed me, I was kind of giggling, and I got online and found myself a Central Michigan T-shirt. Surprised my guy, Anthony. I
love it, man. I did. I gave you a big hug. I said, that, baby. Anyway, so I took a philosophy class one time, Martian, at Central, right? And every single time the professor opens up some sort of discussion, I put my hand up, I said my piece on, he goes, well, yeah, you're right, and you're wrong. I mean, every single time I'm like, this is all philosophy is.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
However.
It's kind of, I think, where we got that. You're not wrong. All right.
What do you learn in philosophy? Anyways?
Nothing.
Nothing. Why have the course? Like I get like there's
I guess
certain
just to open up the thought process on things.
But
maybe.
here's my problem is when I think of some of the educational things, like my kids are in it right now, the college age thing. And I took a philosophy course. What? How's that going to help you get a job? How?
Sometimes they're just part of the curriculum.
Now, if it's an elective or you want to just on the side, you're digging philosophy and some of the great philosophers over the years. Okay, fine.
Great
That's
philosophizers.
that one too. That's your passion, fine. But to tell me I got to take a philosophy class, where the hell is my philosophy class when I'm trying to open my damn business?
Well, it's philosophy and business.
Yeah. That would be your thought. your pro forma, like some of those things.
Sure.
All right.
It's fine. All right. Part one of the Sports Six Pack is next. So if you have a question for us, 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, part one next on 101 ESPN.
Philosophy.
Oh, I can't wait for this slate in the NFL. It's going to be fun, and I'm going to play at Underdog. Underdog Fantasy is where it's at. Playing on Underdog, super easy. You can do it right from your couch here in Missouri. You don't have to drive anywhere. Just choose whether or not players that you either like or don't like will go higher or lower on their stats. And they've got all kinds of stats. It's not just receiving yards, receptions, rushing yards, touchdowns. They've got fantasy points. They even got targets for receivers. If you wake up early, the 8:30 kickoff local time between the Dolphins and the Commanders, you can choose a couple of those players, go higher or lower on their stats, and who knows, maybe you get paid off on your hunches. I'll give you a couple of plays that I do like. I mentioned this the other day. I think Bryce Young is going to have a fantastic game against the Falcons. Bryce Young usually plays well against them. So let's go higher than 163.5 passing yards for Bryce Young on Sunday against Atlanta. Atlanta's secondary has been pretty good, but again, Bryce Young turns into Patrick Mahomes when he's facing Atlanta. Same matchup. Tyler Algier has been getting a lot of touches around the goal line, and the payoff's pretty nice for Tyler Algier to go higher than his 0.5 rush plus reception TD. So it's just a couple of my plays. You can follow them, you can fade them, you can add them to your card, however you want to do it. Do it at Underdog. Download the app today. Sign up with my promo code. It's just my first name when you sign up at Underdog. It's Anthony. Then you're going to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, that promo code is Anthony at Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.inspeedgambling.org.
question. It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack, Part 1, here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. Marsh, take it away.
Question number 1.
Well, gentlemen, we were just talking about philosophy, and the water boy wants to know, Jamie, what was your philosophy last night when choosing Troy in your Bet the Board pick?
Yeah, maybe I got a little aggressive, okay? But I believe in the program. I know that their philosophy this season has been, offense at all risk. And they really wanted to try and air it out there. And it didn't work out. The spread was, look, that's a hell of a spread.
Yeah, it was.
It's a hell of a spread.
Yeah,
it was going to be difficult no matter what.
You'd have thought, though.
You'd have thought they could pull it off. Mm-hmm. But every now and then, Marshy, you just have to believe in people you think are good.
Yeah.
And if they fail, if they haven't failed you, they've just failed in the moment.
Well said, Jamie. Well said.
Philosopher.
Yeah.
And not everybody's perfect, right?
No, not everybody's
We're
perfect.
not going to be perfect in Bet the Board. Players aren't going to be perfect on the field.
Marshy, just to expound here. Any individual who thinks they're perfect is imperfect for thinking that.
Wow.
Talk about philosophy.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Whew, I'm
You don't-
tired now.
Yeah. I don't want to start crying, but that was emotional.
You can feel free to cry.
Okay.
Got tissues.
Thank you.
Just don't get it on my shirt, please.
All right. Yeah, you get TV.
Yeah. Thank you.
Question number 2.
All right, from Grant Francis Fan Club, is there any chance Skinner steals that bottom pair D job for the rest of the year?
Yeah, why not? I mean, if he goes out there and plays well, if I'm a head coach or an organization and I have 3 players that I deem to be in and around the same thing, maybe 4, throw Mayu in there as well, and you got one player that is at the forefront, that every night just seems to play better, every night gets better, every night gives you a chance to win, every night you're going, wow, I can't take this guy in the lineup. Mm-hmm. At some point, that guy becomes part of your team. Now, is he going to be given that opportunity? I don't know. But he's playing tonight. And he has a chance tonight to put himself in the lineup for tomorrow night as well. And whether maybe it's Matthew Kessel who takes that spot. He's played very well. And we know, go back a couple of years ago, we thought he's a mainstay, no problem. Last year, bumps in the road, okay? This year, didn't start off great, but the last couple of games, he's played very well. What you're hoping as a coaching staff is that one of them or more take those steps. They make your decision easy because they're playing so well.
Question number 3.
From Symphonic Metalhead, what do the Arizona Cardinals do with Kyler Murray at season's end? Do they cut their losses or do they keep him?
Cut him.
Well, Jamie says cut him because he's never been the biggest Kyler Murray fan. Let's look at the old contract. I know, I'm not saying you're wrong. So the dead cap hit, and this is really the only thing that matters. The dead cap hit for next season is $57.7 million.
But are you going to be a competitive team? Does it matter? Is what my point is. Like at some point,
the dead cap hit for the following year is only 7.2.
I'm saying.
I think if they make a move, it'll be the following year. The other thing to consider, too, is that the quarterbacks right now in college football haven't been impressive.
No.
Mendoza for Indiana has been good.
Fine.
Dante Moore for Oregon has been good, but there really isn't that can't-miss dude. So if you want to evaluate things for one more year with Murray, it probably makes sense to do so for one more season. Then you cut him in 2027, where the cap hit's only 7.2. I think the contract's going to really come into play here. Unless you absolutely love a QB right now and you have an opportunity to draft them, you're probably going to roll the dice.
I was just going to ask that. Like, if you're the Cardinals, do you draft that QB this year and have him play behind Kyler Murray next year and then cut Kyler Murray and move forward with said QB? Or do you go find a young QB or a retread? Your Mayfield, your Darnold, your Mac Jones. Like, do you find one of those guys and bring him in to play behind Kyler Murray until he gets hurt or is no good?
Yeah.
And then you flip-flop and then cut. Like,
I think that's a good idea. You're kind of seeing that right now with Jacoby Brissett.
I think it's the best way to do it if you're the management, because the dead cap space, you might as well see what you can get out of Kyler Murray. If he comes out and has a MVP season, you're winning anyways. Great.
Yep.
But if he doesn't, you go, okay, now we know for sure.
I agree. All right, we'll continue the Sports Six Pack coming up next. So keep those questions coming into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Part 2 of the Sports Six Pack is next.
Well, are you looking to remodel anything in your home, specifically your kitchen or your bathroom? Or maybe you're trying to get a head start on that outdoor living space for spring and summer next year? Go visit my friends at E&B Granite. They are the best in the business. They just do such an amazing job. Their customer service is fantastic. And when I did my kitchen, I couldn't believe how much help the in-house design staff were. You may think you have a great idea or a concept, and it might work, but at least listen to them. I couldn't believe the amount of great suggestions I got from the in-house design staff, and then them asking what my budget was and then maximizing my budget so that I could get the best possible materials, whether it was countertops, backsplash, the cabinets, or even the flooring. Phenomenal job by everybody over at E&B Granite, and I want you to have the exact same experience, and it's really easy too. 2 ways to do it. Just drive down to 6135 Manchester Avenue, walk in, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you. They'll take great care of you. Or get on the phone, book an appointment at 314-645-9300. That's 314-645-9300, and you can always see everything that they offer over there at enbgranite.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Blues back in action tonight, taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. And you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We have part 2 of our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions in to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll do part 2 of the Six-Pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut Swickle Light Premium Light Beer. Live your lifestyle, St. Louis.
Time for part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Marsh, please hit us with question 4, please.
Question number 4.
All right, gentlemen, from the 314, if there was a magic lever that guaranteed 5 years of championship contention for your favorite team in any sport, but a random St. Louis sports team gets 10 years of bottom feeding, would you pull it?
Okay, hang on. That was a long question, and I was trying my best to follow. Let's try that again, please.
Yeah. All right, put your glasses back on.
Yeah, good call. Thank you.
From the 314, if there was a magic lever that guaranteed 5 years of championship contention for your favorite team in any sport, but a random St. Louis sports team gets 10 years of bottom feeding, would you pull it?
So here's where I'm conflicted, though. Like, as much as I love the Lions or the Patriots or the Buccaneers, one of those teams, I love the Blues and the Cardinals more.
Right.
Like, I do. Like, ultimately, like, if I like to dog on the Cardinals. I just say, I dog on them. I don't like it. I wish they were winning every game. 161-1. Let's go there, okay?
Yeah.
It never happened. But the truth be told, if the Cardinals are winning and they're going to win a World Series, I'm so excited. And the Blues, obviously. And City SC, they've had some bumps in the road, but if they made a championship run, that'd be exciting for the city.
Mm-hmm. It would.
And because it's a random team, which means it could be Blues, Cardinals, City SC, Battlehawks, or whoever, I don't want to risk it. So there's no other team that's out there that I love so much for me. And I'm not placating. It is the truth. I would not do that.
618 says, we already pulled this lever back in 2019.
Yeah, probably.
Pull this one.
Oh, Jamie.
What? No? Too aggressive?
Yeah. I would say there's probably a loophole here. For example, if we say, all right, we'll pull the lever and we get 5 years of championship caliber play from the Blues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it didn't say that. It said your favorite team, but a St. Louis team would suffer.
Yeah, let's just say it's the Blues, though. That's our favorite team.
Oh, if that's the loophole, then I'm pulling the lever.
Right.
Yeah. I don't care about the other.
Who's to say they win, though? Didn't say anything about winning.
No.
Said you're in contention.
Right. But
you could go to the Stanley Cup 5 years in a row and lose.
But your odds are pretty good. You mean you're not the Buffalo Bills.
That's true. That's true.
I'm going to pull that lever.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Yeah, Anthony, pull it.
Okay. Will do.
Question number 5.
From the 801, Jamie, do you know if any of the Blues players are active listeners to the show?
Yeah, most of them say they skip pregame nap to listen to the Fast Lane. I've never asked. I do know this, that the training staff down there, in particular the equipment staff, Richie Matthews and crew down there, they listen on a regular basis, which I love. They say they like the show, so that's always nice. And it's fun to go down there and they'll remember things we've talked about or have an opinion. And Richie Matthews has even texted a couple times, when he's heard some things that are kind of funny or when he's completely embarrassed with my performance in the Gauntlet. It has happened. Yeah. But I do know the players have listened because sporadically there'll be something that's brought up. But nobody ever comes up and, hey, man, I'm a big fan of the show, or I listen every day, and I don't know.
Could be listening right now.
They could be, but I remember.
How are you doing? Let's play good hockey tonight.
I remember playing, and I never listened to talk radio. Music is on, podcast is on. Like, you're just not listening to local sports radio as a current athlete, in my opinion.
Not yet.
Just wait till they need a job. Then they'll be listening.
Ooh.
Well, it's just, like Carey and I, like, how it is. Like,
Yeah, when they're done playing.
Career's over, got nowhere to go, no food.
Yeah. Got to eat. Got to feed the family.
You're saying you had nowhere to go, and this man right across from you took you in. A wounded bird.
Sure.
Was not sick. Not a sick bird.
No, I do have to give full credit. I've said this before. One to Anthony, because he was amazing and basically said, like, don't just keep coming back.
I literally told you, just come back
just
tomorrow.
keep coming back until they tell you not to. But Jeff Burton, the late, great Jeff Burton, was the one who got my foot in the door here to try it out. Thought I'd be good at it. And here we are. Boy, was he wrong.
By the way, going back to that
Jeff.
last question
Miss you, Jeff.
about the lever, the 636 says, man, this is a heck of a Stalter's choice.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
But
Apparently it wasn't. Anthony had no problem pulling
I
that
really
lever.
didn't. Nah.
He didn't tell us who his favorite team was.
I went with the Blues.
I'm surprised it wasn't the Chips.
I went with the Blues. Doesn't say it's the Blues.
I chose the
Just
Blues.
because you went Blues.
I chose the Blues.
Well, we went Blues.
We went Blues in 2019.
I pulled the lever.
Yeah. But did you mean it? Because
I did.
It's like, what was that movie?
This guy would choose, he'd pull the lever for the Falcons.
Oh, no. That's what that movie's Ghostbusters. Remember, like, don't think of anything. Nothing,
yeah.
Okay, don't think. And all of a sudden,
What did you do,
oh
Ray?
no, the staple of
What
marshmallow.
did you
man.
do? I thought of the best.
All of a sudden, we see Kirky Chains in the Super Bowl with the Falcons.
Wow. What the hell, man?
Anthony, what did you do?
I swear I didn't.
He's really cute with those chains on.
Falcons win 5 Super Bowls. He's willing to sacrifice your favorite team in this area.
I said the Blues, man.
All right.
You said it, but just like in Ghostbusters, he wasn't
It's what
supposed to
you
be.
think.
So he was thinking it,
It's funny. What did you do, Ray?
Question number 6.
All right, Low Life Dad wants to know, Bleacher Report had their top 5 most overrated quarterbacks. They had Lamar Jackson number 1. WTF? What does he have to do to earn some respect in the NFL?
Well, for most people, when it comes to Lamar or Josh Allen, they got to win a Super Bowl or get there. That's just how it is. For me, I can't. How in God's name is Lamar Jackson overrated? I can't get there. The man has won multiple MVPs.
Thank you.
Could have won last year. I think there was some fatigue, some Lamar Jackson MVP fatigue, so it went to Josh Allen. Not that he didn't deserve it, but I'm sorry, man. He's not overrated. Now, if you're going to ask me what quarterback currently is overrated, wow.
Would you base that on contract? Trevor Lawrence
would be if you're going to just base it on contract.
Yeah.
No, if you're basing it on contract, it's got to be Deshaun Watson.
Well, yeah. I think he's properly rated at this point, though.
But he's still going to get $231 million.
Yeah, he is. Oh man.
Biscuit text in says, Marsh, LOL. I don't think that lever would have enough magic to save the Falcons.
No, he's right. I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't even bother.
That was a little bit snarky. You could just see it there.
Yeah.
A little bit.
He's right.
They would be the team that lost 5 Super Bowls in a row.
Right. That's right. I would choose them. I pulled that lever.
Just when you thought the Buffalo Bills were the only team,
Yeah.
the Falcons said, hold my beer.
I thought I was exercising some sort of loophole. In fact, this whole game was exercising the loophole
In
on
fact,
me.
it was just a giant black hole.
100%. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Jamie's got a thought on a certain Blues player and how much one player can change the look of an entire lineup. He'll tell you who that player is next on 101 ESPN. Auto Centers, Nissan, Herculaneum, they've always got great deals going on, and they're doing their Thanking You with the Thankful For You sales event throughout the month of November. Let's start here. They've got over 1,000 vehicles. They've got new vehicles. They've got pre-owned vehicles. And they're all in one location, right off I-55 in Herculaneum, minutes from South County. They've got all those vehicles right there at the dealership to ensure that you don't have to drive around the greater St. Louis or Illinois area looking for the vehicles that you looked for online. No, at AutoCentersNissan.com, you can peruse their selection. You'll see what kind of deals they got, see the features. And then when you test drive the vehicles, those same cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, whatever you're looking at, those same ones that you found online will be there at the dealership. And right now, they've got deep dealer discounts on every remaining 2025 model. That means the best prices of the year as 2026 models arrive. We're talking about get no payments for 6 months on select 2025 Nissan models, or get no money down and 0% APR for 60 months on 2025 Muranos and Pathfinders, as well as the all-new 2026 Rogue Platinum. That's 5 years interest-free. If you're shopping used, Auto Centers Nissan, they've got you covered there too. No money down and no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles, all priced to move at Auto Centers Nissan. And every new Nissan comes with their lifetime warranty and a 30-day return promise. Head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. It's Fastline at 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh and Anthony Stalter. In about 5 minutes or so, we'll have the Gauntlet, and that's when Carey Davis will join us from the road in Champaign. But, Jamie, before you head out for the Blues and Flyers matchup, talk to us about how much one player can possibly change the look of the lineup, because I know you have a certain Blue in mind.
Yeah, watching morning skate this morning, man, it was awesome to see Jake Neighbors back out there. Just a real positive attitude, good leader, all of the things. It's just a good dude. And I had a chance to talk to him after, just briefly, about his injury, what he's going through. Looks like he might be back, should be back on this road trip. I believe the target game would be the Islanders game. If that's the case, that's great for the Blues in many ways. One, you get your top goal scorer back. He's been out of the lineup for a while, and he's still leading your team in goals with six goals in 8 games. But when you add Jake Neighbors to your lineup, it changes. And it changes because of the performance of Dalibor Dvorsky, in my opinion. So now some of the lower-end players who haven't defined a role within the group yet, and I'm just going to say that Alex Texier, it's been 2 years of one individual trying to define a role within the group. Is he talented? Yes. Can he skate? Yes. Great hands, size, all that. But has he been able to find a spot, a designated spot? No, he hasn't. So is he a player that becomes expendable? I don't know. He's got to clear waivers. You wouldn't get a full cap relief on his salary. You get about $1 million of cap relief there. But at the same time, I don't feel like Dalibor Dvorsky has performed poorly enough to be sent back down to the American Hockey League.
Right.
He's your second-line center right now, and he's on your first power play. So with Jake Neighbors coming back, the dance floor gets crowded in a good way. Mm-hmm. So now, if you want to demote Pavel Buchnevich to the second or third line, Jake Neighbors can go right up and play with Robert Thomas. He's done it many times before. He's a driving force on that line with Robert. So if you've got you got yourself a Snuggie, Neighbors, Thomas, and then who knows what it looks like from there. Right now, based on current productivity, I would stay with Holloway, Dvorsky, Kyrou, and then I'd find Buch, Shen, and Suter as your third line, and then I love, so far, the Sundqvist, Walker, Torchenko. The lineup looks much different. Mm-hmm. Just by adding one player, you've created way more depth in your lineup. And I think that's important. And I think that's really what the Blues were counting on when they saw at the start of the season. They said, okay, we added Bukestad, we added Pius Suter. These are good depth pieces because we got Jake, we got Holloway. Holloway, slow start, finding his way right now. Kyrou, finding his way. Had the little... the little pee-pee whack, back in the lineup, scores a goal, doing his thing. But I think it really is going to make a difference for Robert Thomas as well. Because Robert Thomas right now has had a revolving door of different guys. Now, the mainstay has been Pavel Buchnevich, but I'm just starting to wonder if at some point you just don't break up the band. It ain't working right now. It hasn't been working 5-on-5 anyways. Break up the band. Let's see what it looks like with a different look here, because you have to. And Jim Montgomery, he's proven that he's not afraid to break up the lines or shake it up a little bit to get more success out of certain players. So when I was analyzing the lineup, when I was talking to Jake this morning, and just overall thought is that one player, an impact player, mind you, not just any player, he's an impact player coming back to your lineup, can change the way this looks.
It's like that lamp.
And a couple of guys can really shoot the puck.
Shooter! I must confess you scored first.
Well, who was the first person?
Breakaway! Shoots! Score!
We got hockey to learn.
All right, Marsh, what are the latest standings?
All right, Jamie's still in the lead with 8 points. Carey behind him with 6. I have 5, and Anthony, you're still stuck at 1.
All right, let's go. Teach me how to Snuggie. It's got to work at some point. Jimmy Snuggerud, please.
All right, is Carey next?
Carey would be next.
He wants Holloway. He just texted us.
All righty. I'm going to go with the former Flyer, current captain of your St. Louis Blues, Braden Shen.
All right, I'm going to do something a little different tonight. Give me Jordan Kyrou. There you have it. Hey, please support the Countdown to Thanksgiving campaign to benefit Operation Food Search. It's hosted by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill, Coca-Cola, and Us 101 ESPN. This is where you can drop off a non-perishable food donation at any area Lee's or Hot Shots locations now through next Friday, November 21st. Every donation earns you a free Coca-Cola beverage, one per person per day. But all food collected will go to Operation Food Search to help local families in need. And we've seen now more than ever, it's a very important time to support our local area food bank, especially with the holidays right around the corner, of course, temperature dropping and things like that. It's always great to give back during the holiday season. Each donor can also get entered to win a prize package that includes gift cards to Lee's and Hot Shots, as well as hockey tickets from us at 101 ESPN. So get all the details on the Countdown to Thanksgiving to benefit Operation Food Search now at 101ESPN.com. Jamie?
Yeah.
Have a great call tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Going to be pre and post with Chris Pronger, myself,
Excellent.
and Scotty Warman. Should be fun.
Looking forward to that, no doubt. All right, buddy. We'll see you December 1st.
Yeah, I'll be gone for a while. I'll see you guys, just not in person.
Yeah, we'll miss you, buddy.
Yeah, I'll miss everybody.
We'll miss your musk, you know?
Thank you.
All right, Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Circus Sports coming right here to the state of Missouri, December 1st. I know I'm excited, and you should be too. However, if you still want to get in on the action, download Circus Sports Illinois, the app. You can find it on the website or any app store for that matter. It is extremely user-friendly. You can bet on your favorite teams and players with ease. It's sports betting the way it should be. And if you're looking for maybe that parlay, you've got 2, 3, 4 games or some player props that you're looking at, Circus Sports has you covered. For me tonight, it's easy. One bet only. I love the Blues Flyers, the over on the first period. That's 1.5 goals. Higher than that, it's at minus 115. Always great odds on Circus Sports. In fact, the best odds of any app that is out there. You can download and you can research that yourself. They have the best odds, which means bigger payouts. And, of course, they've got high betting limits as well. So please don't miss out on any of the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circus Sports Illinois app today and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's Fastlane at 101 ESPN 404, your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we got our guy, Carey.
Yeah.
What's up, Carey?
What up, brother?
All right, my man. Carey's right now in Champaign. He'll be on the call tomorrow for the Illini game. You guys got who? Remind me again.
Maryland.
That's your guy too, right? You got a former player there.
Well, no, he's not there anymore. He hit the transfer portal.
Well, like I said, he transferred out of Maryland. He used to be there. That's what I was telling you earlier. Sorry, Carey.
Hard to keep up, man.
It is. That's right. Players coming and going. All right, we've got Buzz on the line as well. What's up, Buzz?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
We're doing great, man. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you for listening to the show. Round one for you. Would you like to take on Carey, Marsh, or me in the Gauntlet?
Let's go you, Anthony.
Oh, Buzz, I wasn't prepared. I'll be honest. I was not prepared. All right, good luck,
you
man.
You got me last time, so let's get after it.
Oh, did I? Was it football or another?
Oh, I think random.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. All right, well, Buzz, good luck, man.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
All right, Buzz, you know the drill. Tell me to spin the wheel. We'll find out what category you get.
Spin the wheel, Marsh. Let's see it.
Now, we know the wheel. The wheel doesn't play nice all the time. Is there a specific category that you want today, or are you just wanting to let the wheel do its thing?
No, let's do football.
Oh,
it's not football. It's a category that Anthony has had a lot of success in, and that is hockey. How do you feel about hockey today, Buzz?
Not great, but we're going to give it a go.
Not great. All right. Well, let's refresh. For those that don't know how this works, both you and Anthony will get 4 questions. If you get the question right, you get 2 points. If you use the options and get the question right, you get 1 point. And of course, if you don't get it correct, you get 0 points. Are you ready to go, Buzz?
Let's do it.
All right, question number 1. Who scored the first Blues goal of the season this year?
I'm going to have to go with Jake Neighbors scored a lot. Let's go with Neighbors. Final answer.
all right, Buzz. Question number 2. So far this season, the Blues scored the most goals in a single game against which team?
I'll take the options, Carey.
Is it the Utah Mammoth, the Calgary Flames, or Vancouver Canucks?
Let's go. I think we did good against the Canucks. Let's go Canucks. Final answer.
Question number 3. The Blues have gone to a shootout 1 time so far this season when they lost to which team?
They played good. Was it the Kraken just recently with the... No, I think they scored. Let me get the options, Marsh.
Options are the Vancouver Canucks, the Los Angeles Kings, or the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Dang it. It was the Canucks. Final answer, I think.
All right, final question. The Blues end their season this year on the road against which Western Conference team?
Haven't looked that far. Don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. But let's see. We'll go with let's go with the Ducks. Final answer.
All right, let's bring Anthony back into the studio. How you feeling today, Buzz?
We're shooting from the hip, Marsh, but we're doing good.
All right. Anthony is making his way back in. Anthony, how was the Cone of Silence?
It was good, man. We were jamming to Timmy Trumpets.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right. Because Jordan, who does a fantastic job running the board for the Blues games, she hadn't heard it. Mike Ryder played the Edwin Diaz Timmy Trumpets from ESPN. It's a great jam, man.
It is a great jam. Carey, would you like to inform Anthony of what his category is and maybe something that he should do today?
Anthony, you have hockey.
Okay, good.
Pack a lunch.
Good.
All right, question number 1, Anthony.
I do like hockey, guys.
You do. You do, and you've been pretty good at it so far this year. Question number 1. Who scored the first Blues goal of the season this year?
This year?
This year.
Okay, let me think. It wasn't Carey. It wasn't Thomas. It wasn't Snuggerud. I don't think it was a defenseman. I think one of us had Jake Neighbors. And I think he scored. I think Jake Neighbors scored in the first game. I don't know if he was the first goal, but I'm gonna roll the dice. I'll say Jake Neighbors. Final answer. So I think Marsh, you had Neighbors. No, Jamie had Neighbors. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Carey.
Question number 2. So far this season, the Blues scored the most goals in a single game against which team?
The most goals? Okay, let me think here. They just beat Calgary, but they didn't score a bunch. Well, I guess... You know what? For time purpose, I'll take the options.
Utah Mammoth, Calgary Flames, Vancouver Canucks.
The Mammoth was the game that they blew the lead. But that was like 3-2, I think. Did they score like 6 on Vancouver? I don't think it was Calgary. I'll take the Canucks. Final answer.
Question number 3. The Blues have gone to a shootout one time so far this season when they lost to which team?
Ooh, was that the Canucks? Yeah, it was. It was the home game. That was when the Canucks came all the way back. They tied it up, and Braden Shen whiffed. That was the Canucks. I may have gotten that last one wrong. All right, Canucks, final answer. Shen whiffed on the penalty shot, or the shootout goal.
Final question. The Blues end their season this year on the road against which Western Conference team?
They end? What did you say, Carey? Sorry.
The Blues end their season this year on the road against which Western Conference team?
I have no idea. Options.
Dallas Stars, Utah Mammoth, or Vegas Golden Knights?
I feel like they play the Stars all the time. Dallas Stars. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these questions. Buzz against Anthony. Why don't we start off with that final question? The Blues end their season this year on the road against which Western Conference team? Anthony, you took the options. You said the Dallas Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Buzz did not take the options, but he said the Anaheim Ducks. Carey, the correct answer is?
The Utah Mammoth.
Ooh.
0-0.
Swing and a miss.
The score. Let's go to question number 1. Who scored the first Blues goal of the season this year? Anthony, you said Jake Neighbors. Buzz, you said Jake Neighbors. Correct answer is?
Jake Neighbors.
Nice.
But both of you did not use the options.
Oh, Buzz, nice job. Did I remember that correct? Was it Jamie who had Jake Neighbors?
I believe so.
Okay.
And he scored against Calgary.
Yes.
Yep. Question number 2. We have a 2-2 score. So far this season, the Blues scored the most goals in a single game against which team? Anthony, you said the Vancouver Canucks. Buzz also said the Vancouver Canucks. Correct answer is?
The Vancouver Canucks.
Both of you used the options. Oh. Still tied.
Wow. Buzz.
Final question. The Blues have gone to a shootout one time so far this season when they lost to which team? Anthony, you said the Vancouver Canucks. You thought, maybe I got question number 2 wrong. But you went with the Canucks. Buzz, you also said the Vancouver Canucks. Ooh. Carey, the correct answer is?
It's the Vancouver Canucks.
But Anthony didn't use the options. Buzz.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Buzz, that was a wild one, man.
That was a good one.
Nice job.
Good work, Anthony. Good work.
Thank you. That was a shootout. That was no defensive struggle. We were putting up points, my man.
Man, the random duck play was so wild. Don't know what happened there. Kind of blacked out.
That's a tough question. I didn't look that far ahead to see who the hell the Blues were rounding out the season against. Nice job, Buzz. We appreciate you, man.
Buzz.
Thank you for
Thanks,
playing.
guys. Have a good one. Have a great weekend.
You too.
You as well.
Thank you.
See you guys.
We'll see you. That was the Braden Shen game, right? The Canucks one.
You talking about the shootout?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when he lost control of the puck.
Yeah.
The game they scored 5, though, that was on the road. Oh. They've played the Canucks twice so far this season.
So I got my games mixed up, but my opponent right.
Maybe.
Okay.
You got it right, Anthony.
I can't find it. To hell with it.
You did a good job, Anthony.
Thanks, Carey. You the man.
Yeah,
all right, let's get into some college football. We got our college football Week 12 roundup. Some good matchups coming up this weekend. Some playoff caliber matchups, and we'll break those down next on 101 ESPN. exciting weekend in college football. It starts tonight with a couple of intriguing matchups. I guess ACC, you got Clemson and you've got Louisville. Minnesota versus Oregon. That one probably should be a bloodbath, but Oregon's also played in tighter games lately. But moving beyond these matchups, Carey.
Yeah.
If we're looking at the big games in college football this weekend, to me, none bigger than Texas and Georgia tomorrow night in between the hedges.
That's a good one. I mean, that's it could be an elimination game for Texas if they're unable to win that game in Georgia. Arch Manning has played much better than he started the season off playing. Now, it was really rough for him to begin the season, but it has gotten much better for him. And so we'll see if Georgia, I think, has been battle tested. We'll see if they're able to. Which team is which? Like I said, Texas, I think if they lose, it's definitely an elimination game because they already have a couple of losses. Georgia can still find their way into the college football playoff with a loss, but they will be probably scratching and clawing to get back into it if they lose that game.
So let me ask you guys this. For Texas, is this more about staying alive or about proving that they belong?
Yes.
Can you accomplish both?
It's both.
Obviously, they have to stay alive with the win, but maybe let me rephrase this. If they win, do they prove now that they can that they do belong?
No, they got to win out. They got to win out.
So it's not just about. Then it's not just about. It is about staying alive. Period.
Yeah. I don't. If they lose, they're done.
They're done. For Georgia,
are you saying do they need to prove that
from an optics?
They were? Yeah.
From an optics standpoint, obviously, Marsh is right. They got 2 losses, so they do have to win out.
Yeah.
But how you view them coming off the Georgia? If they beat Georgia, they go to Atlanta, they go to Athens, they beat Georgia. They got Arkansas on deck. That should be a win. Mm-hmm. And then they got Texas A&M. Do you look at that Texas A&M game a little bit differently if Texas is able to pull this one off against Georgia? Do you think now that they at least belong in the conversation of, look, they can get back into this thing?
Yeah, I think that if they're able to win this game, it definitely shows that they are a better team, and the demise of Arch Manning was clearly overblown, and the Texas team as a whole, Jamie. But I think that just the fact that if they are able to go down to Athens and win that game, it'll show that they have the capability of being a really good football team. So they are clearly back in it. They got a couple of more games after that, and then if they're able to beat Texas A&M at the end of the year, they could find their way somehow, some way into the SEC championship game. They only have one conference loss, so it could be a situation where they leapfrog a couple of those teams and find their way into the SEC championship game, and they really have solidified themselves at that point.
Boy, that would be interesting, right? They start off number 1 in the nation, because you're right, Carey. You just laid out the path for Texas. I'm not saying they're going to accomplish this, by the way, but let's just walk down the path. Texas opens up the year number 1 in the nation. Clearly overrated, and they proved as such. Mm-hmm. They eventually lose to Florida. We write them off. They rally. They beat number 6 Oklahoma. They take care of business against Kentucky, although they could have lost that one outright. They could have lost outright to Mississippi State. Vanderbilt stormed back against them, so they haven't really looked great, but they're winning.
Right.
They go to Georgia. If they beat Georgia, Arkansas, and A&M to close out the season, they're in the SEC title game.
I agree.
Because they would be 7-1 at that point. They'd have head-to-head victories over A&M and Georgia.
Yep.
If they beat Georgia, does that say more about Texas, or does it say more about what this Georgia Bulldog team is?
That's kind of where I was getting to. Like, is this game more about Texas or Georgia?
If Texas wins, I still don't believe that they can beat A&M. Like, yeah, that's a great win. Don't get me wrong. That's a huge win for Texas, especially with the narrative surrounding the team all season.
So you're downgrading Georgia more.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
I see you. Georgia defensively hasn't been great. And Texas defensively, their last 2 games, they have not looked good. Mississippi State hung, 38 points ago?
That's a dangerous Mississippi State team, Anthony.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow, I guess, as they take on Mizzou. But, yeah, 38 points they allowed to Mississippi State, and they had Vanderbilt dead to rights until Diego Pavia stormed back in the fourth quarter, and they gave up 31. This was a Texas team that was led by their defense, and it was all the questions was about Arch Manning and the offense. But Georgia does not have a great pass rush at all. So Texas's main issue, their offensive line, might not be exposed this weekend. These are two playoff contenders with massive holes.
Yep.
So I find this game to be the most intriguing.
If they win, let's say they win out, there's still a part of me that looks at the field of what would be the college football playoff, and to me, they're no threat.
Either team?
Texas
specifically?
I don't. If they win out, I don't see them still getting to the top 4.
Do you think if Georgia wins out, they are a threat?
National title threat.
I don't know, man.
So you don't think either one of them are really that good of teams in terms of winning the entire thing?
I think they have a chance. Don't get me wrong. Like, these are two big-time programs, but from the teams that are at the top right now, they've been consistent. And I'll take consistency over maybe some inconsistencies. Even though Georgia's only lost one game and it was to Alabama, like you just mentioned, Anthony, there's a little bit of inconsistency within their game.
Georgia reminds me of the Chiefs. They've got the pedigree. They've got championship caliber pedigree. They've got an outstanding coach, but they've got some question marks. No matter what side of the ball you want to question. And they have won games that they shouldn't have won. Tennessee being one of them. Ole Miss, maybe, if you want to put it in that category. They had a narrow win too against, who was it? Florida, where they really needed the last drive to salt that thing away, and yet they still win. And there's something about Gunnar Stockton and the way he plays. He comes up with one or two big throws that usually aids Georgia. All right, moving on. Number 11, Oklahoma. Number 4, Alabama. I think this is where the wheels completely fall off for Oklahoma.
Okay.
I do not think they go to Tuscaloosa. Defensively, they could hang with Alabama for a half. But I think going into the second half, I think that John Mateer and all the magic that he had early in the season, I think all that's gone. He suffered the injury, came back. He's been turnover prone since. I think Alabama, sorry for the pun, rolls in the second half.
I was going to say that I think that he probably came back too soon. It was for the Texas game?
Correct. It was for the Red River rivalry.
Yeah, I think he came back a little bit too soon. They obviously wanted him there for that game to give themselves a chance to keep all of their playoff hopes alive and SEC hopes, championship hopes alive. But he hasn't been the same player. He was a Heisman candidate prior to injuring his hand. Had the surgery, had to miss a couple of weeks, and then, in my opinion, was probably rushed back onto the field and just has not been the same player in that deep. And the fact that we tend to know Oklahoma is a team that's good offensively year after year. Defensively, they find a way to not stop people at some point. So I don't know which Oklahoma is going to show up, but John Mateer, with his health and not, as you said, not taking care of the ball, has been a little bit of a problem for them as of late.
Yeah, I don't give Oklahoma a shot. Do either of you guys?
No.
I don't think so. I would be surprised if they won, but if they do, it would create some havoc in that SEC, I think.
If this was a home game for Oklahoma, maybe I'm in the camp of, yeah, you got a shot. I don't see that happening.
All right, ESPN College Game Day will be at Pittsburgh for the Pitt and Notre Dame game. This is a playoff eliminator game for ND, considering they only have Syracuse and Stanford left. So they're going to be big favorites over both of those teams. If they win this one, Notre Dame's in. So to me, this is the last true test for Notre Dame. And I don't think Pittsburgh's ever beaten Notre Dame.
Not yet.
Oh.
Did you hear what
Pat
Kurt
Narduzzi
Cignetti said? Well, Kurt Cignetti. And this team hadn't played Penn State. He could say the same thing about that team never playing Notre Dame. But I did hear what Pat Narduzzi said, and I didn't like it.
Do you think?
Nah, it's not the end of the world. Man, it's not a must-win game. We can lose 103-10. Pat, what are we doing, man?
Okay, let me ask you this. One, he did say, look, because it's not an ACC matchup. But
correct.
Pat Narduzzi.
I understand what he was saying.
Yeah. Do you believe what he's saying though? Like, do you think he's being
some? Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you think he was being honest when he said that?
I think the honest part was it's not an elimination game for Pitt, meaning because it's not an ACC game. I don't believe that if they lost 110-10, like he said, or 103-10, he'd be fine with it. He would be irate, as any coach should be. So it's probably some middle ground there, but he definitely doesn't want to lose, doesn't plan to lose, and maybe he's trying to take some pressure off of his team. I just didn't like how it sounded. I wasn't a fan of, it's not a must-win situation for us. No, it's not, Pat, but if you lose by 100, you're going to be hot, and I'm sure people watching the game will be hot too, so I don't know.
So we got a text from the 618. Off your rockers, anyone that gets into the playoffs is a threat. Oregon was Mr. Consistent last year and got dog walked by an inconsistent Ohio State team. I think there's truth to that. Do you think I'm an idiot for saying that about Texas or Georgia? And that's fine if you do.
That they won't be a national title contender?
A threat to win the national championship.
With the way that Texas has played, no, I don't think that you're crazy. Texas their offensive line issues will prevent them from perhaps winning a game, let alone multiple games to necessitate a national championship. Shout out to Wayne's World. I kind of did the quote there. Georgia, on the other hand, despite the lack of a pass rush, I still think Georgia, because of their pedigree, is a threat, yes. But Texas, I'll give you. Absolutely. What in Texas's profile has shown us that this season, that they can hold up against anybody with a pass rush? So that's where I'm at on that. All right, last one. Iowa, USC.
Who cares? No.
Stop it.
Is there still a chance that the winner sneaks into the college football playoff?
They could, right? I don't know how this final, 9, 10, 11, 12, the final four teams in terms of the college football playoff, I don't know how that pans out, or I guess the few teams before the 11th and 12th, if you're going to put the Power 5, Group of 5 in there. But I don't know how it pans out, how it plays out. USC has some really good players. Right? They got Makai Lemon, who is a stud at the receiver position. He reminds me a lot of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is a pass-catching guy. He gets after it. Jaden Mayava is a really good quarterback that they have. Iowa is a sneaky team, though. They almost beat Oregon last week, and if it wasn't for a last-second field goal, they probably would have. So I'm not sure which team is better, but I do think USC has the better athletes. I just think Jaden Mayava and Makai Lemon, in my opinion, Makai Lemon is if you watch him play football, you would be really impressed with what he's able to do. And then they got a couple of running backs, Waymon Jordan and a couple of guys that can move the ball down the field as well. So I like USC in the game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa defensively gives them some trouble.
I think Iowa's out of juice now. I really do. They had a game against Penn State that they had to hold on to take a 25-24 victory. The Minnesota game for them is kind of a big rivalry, so there's some emotions there. They're coming off the narrow loss to Oregon. You knew there was going to be a lot of emotions there. Now they have to travel to USC, which is in the Big Ten, but it's only been in the Big Ten for, last 2 seasons. So, unfamiliar opponent. I think this is where perhaps the wheels fall off for Iowa. And USC's a much different program at home. By the way, Marcia, to support you, Gator from the Snake Pit said, yeah, if you lose to Florida, you suck.
Oh.
And Texas did lose to Florida.
So, to that point, USC lost to Illinois.
Yeah, in Illinois, though. That's a tough place to play, right, CD?
Yeah, Champaign. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, Memorial Stadium. What are we doing?
Yeah. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Marcia's got what's trending for you next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Blues back in action tonight, taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. You can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pre-game starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Carey, why don't you go ahead and give your guys, Shohei Ohtani, just a round of applause. Another MVP for Shohei Ohtani and another MVP for Aaron Judge. We had the discussion yesterday whether or not Aaron Judge should win the MVP, the AL MVP over Cal Raleigh. Well, he did. I'm sure there's some people out there, especially in the Pacific Northwest, that are pretty upset after what transpired in the voting. But at the end of the day, do you guys think that both of these dudes are the MVPs of the 2025 season?
Yeah, I don't think you could go wrong. I mean, we talked about it yesterday with Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge. We gave all of the numbers. Cal obviously led in home runs, but Aaron Judge, I mean, he averaged, his batting average was 333. It's not like he was a slack. He led in OPS. He did everything else really well. Oh, and I think he had 53 home runs. So it's not like he was that much further behind what Cal Raleigh did. And in the NL, it was a no-brainer. I mean, Shohei Ohtani he's outstanding. And to be able, 4 times unanimous winner, like he's been spectacular his entire career, what he's been able to do both on the mound and at the plate. And he had a fantastic postseason. It's just really, really good for him. I mean, it's really awesome to see him play baseball. I know some people don't like it, but he's a hell of a baseball player.
Yeah. Look, there was the only choice for National League MVP was Shohei Ohtani. Like we said yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a situation where Kyle Schwarber and Juan Soto were also in the mix, yet anything that Schwarber or Soto did paled in comparison to Ohtani. Mm-hmm. Like Ohtani just did it better. As far as Judge goes and Cal Raleigh goes, Judge received 17 of the 31st place votes, so he narrowly won, which makes sense. Had Cal Raleigh won, I'm sure it would have been something similar. 17 first place votes as opposed to, Aaron Judge winning the 17. It's one of the closest races. It makes sense. I know you don't like the WAR stat, Carey, but Judge had a 10-point WAR, hit 331, 53 bombs, 114 RBIs. I would have said Cal Raleigh yesterday. I mentioned the fact that, he had surpassed Mickey Mantle for home runs for a switch hitter. He's a catcher. We haven't really seen it. It's kind of like if Tom Brady wasn't alive, Peyton Manning would have won probably 10 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Because Aaron Judge also performed in the American League last year, Cal Raleigh doesn't get an MVP.
Yeah.
But it was damn close, and it should have been.
Where would you put this era of baseball? Where would you rank it in terms of like the best players in baseball right now? Where would you put that since you guys have been alive?
From a hitting standpoint,
sure,
it's up there. From a pitching standpoint, go fast lane yourself.
Yeah.
Like I hate to be, Carey, I feel like you probably feel the same way, but like when we grew up in an era of Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez and, the list goes on where you had guys that you just expected were going to go 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Obviously, you go further than that. The people that are listening now that had the good pleasure of watching Bob Gibson pitch, it's just not the same. And I'm not taking anything away from Skubal. I'm not taking anything away with Skeens there's some great pitchers out there. But I felt like, Carey, and correct me if I'm wrong, there was some legendary dudes in the 80s and 90s when we were watching baseball. We grew up with it.
And we laughed and I joked about it when Yamamoto pitched a complete game, right? We're like, oh my God, back to real baseball. Or when Blake Snell goes 8. You just don't see those things anymore. And I think there were obviously more occurrences of that, in the 80s and 90s. In terms of like the overall athleticism, I feel like some of the athleticism is coming back, but for me, like the speed of the 80s, guys stealing bases, Ricky Henderson, like seeing guys that were able to do a multitude of things was exciting. And Barry Bonds, my favorite baseball player of all time. I mean, he's a 7-time MVP. So in terms of the batting, it's comparable, but like you said, Anthony, in terms of the pitching, I don't think it's close. And I think it's because of the style that managers utilize in terms of, we're only going to give you 5 innings, 6 if you're feeling great. We're not going to let you go around the lineup a third time, though. Like,
different era.
The competitiveness in terms of the pitching is not there, and it's not like the guys are unable to do it. I mean, you have more medicine, you have more. The science is much greater than it was in the 80s and 90s. Keeping your body healthier is much greater than it was in the 80s and 90s. But they just don't allow pitchers to do it, and I think that comes from it's gonna sound bad, but the lack of competitiveness from what guys did in the 80s and 90s until what they're doing right now.
If you look at some of the All-Star games, I've seen some videos in the past where they'll show the lineup and the guys stepping up to the plate in like the late 90s, and the numbers that those guys had at the All-Star break were insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Different era, of course, but I mean, those guys could smash the ball, man. I don't know if you have enough of those now.
They had a little.
They may have had some help too. That is fair. They may have had some assistance, as Carey just noted. But you're
coaches.
right, Marsh. They certainly did smash the hell out of those baseballs. Splashback Deucer guy in the snake pit goes, is it difficult to be legendary in the present? Yeah, probably. It's difficult to be a legend in the present.
You know what they say, though? Legends never die.
Legends never die.
Yeah.
Great point. All right. Why don't we do Bet the Board next? Bet the Board next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Report here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis live from Champaign. Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter live from the studio. Marsh, what do we got for latest standings? And most importantly, how did our guy Jamie Rivers do on that Trojans bet that he had?
Yeah, the Troy to win by 43 or more and plus 11,000 did not come to fruition.
Was it close, Marsh?
No, it was not. But you got to give him credit for at least trying.
Yeah.
You know, he thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
You got to give him credit. Now, Jamie has lost 4 in a row. He's looking for a win this weekend. But
tough, man.
It is tough.
It's tough out there.
If we look at our standings right now, I have 6 points. Anthony, you have 5. Carey with 3. And Jamie is at 2.
So, Marsh, did you hit yours? You must have hit yours last night.
I did. Demario Douglas had, I believe,
25 receptions?
No. But yeah, he did have 33, I think it was 33 receiving yards, which is more than 25. So.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. Well, Marsh, you're up, man.
All right.
And might I add, I feel like things really turned for you when you chose my Chippewas the other night.
I agree. So, I hate to do this, but this is a trend right now. I know Carey's about to give me some crap here, but I am inviting it on myself. But you know I like to do the old reverse jinx. Now, I've been having a good month so far. I don't mind potentially missing a pick. And speaking of picks, give me J.J. McCarthy over 0.5 interceptions at minus 150.
That's terrible.
So he throws one pick, you win.
One pick, and I win.
Wow. You know what? I don't.
It's awful.
It's disgusting what he just did.
It's coming from you.
It's disgusting, Marsh.
You never pick your team.
You would go against your team, dude. Give me the Panthers plus 3.5 this Sunday. That's a layup, Carey.
What's wrong with you?
You're going to give me 3.5 points with a team that probably going to win outright? I'll take the Panthers plus 3.5, please.
You should be ashamed. Give me Josh Jacobs over 39.5 rushing yards in the first half.
Okay. You like those half plays.
I do.
Now, Jamie gave us a pick before he left. And, yeah, he did, unfortunately. And it was the over, Marsh, correct me if I'm wrong, it was the over 1.5 goals in the first period for the Blues and Flyers, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What I want to do, though, is I want to check to make sure that that scumbag actually has a good number here.
Oh, well, why don't we take a look here?
I'm looking as well. There's knowing Jamie.
Possible.
Let's see here. Team totals. No. Where's the game?
I found it.
First period. Got it. Go ahead.
So the first period?
Yep.
Over 1.5. Minus 115.
No, he's all right. He's well within the rules. Good for Jamie. Good for Jamie for finally, playing by the rules. Not by his own rules, but by the rules.
I feel dirty with my pick. Don't you feel dirty, Anthony?
No, not one bit. We got to use our heads, Marsh. Last night, minus 150. Travion Henderson to get in the end zone.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Got in 3 times.
Cash that thing in the first quarter. That's using the old noggin.
Yeah. Using the old noodle.
You're going to give me 3.5?
Yeah.
With the old Falcons? Come on now. John Kielski, our big boss, walked in. He probably couldn't see us. We've got the party lights on. By the way, Carey, anytime the big boss comes in, you just say, hey, come on in. Anytime.
He's always invited.
You didn't say that, though.
I didn't?
No.
I was going.
I guess you waved him.
Yeah, I waved him in.
Yeah.
Come on in. All right. So Carey's in Champaign for the Illini in Maryland. I imagine you guys got good. You've had good success against Maryland, no? The old Terps.
I mean, It's been pretty good. I don't know the overall record versus Maryland. I don't keep up with that stuff. I'm week to week, Anthony. I pay attention to what's going on this week, and then once this week is over, I scrap it. I get ready for the next week. Just kind of my focus and my preparation. You kind of learn that as an athlete.
Sure.
You only focus on one thing at a time. Because what you did last week doesn't matter. What you did last year, what you did 2 years, 5 years ago, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What are you doing today?
I got the numbers right here for you.
No.
Yeah.
What you do?
You guys,
What do you got?
you guys met in 2023 in Maryland. Do you remember that game?
Oh, I wasn't there for that one.
Okay. Illinois 27, Maryland 24.
Good win.
In 2021, so that would be the COVID year, you guys met in September, and that was in Champaign. Maryland 20, Illinois 17. And you also met in 2018, and that was in College Park. Illinois 33.
Nice.
Maryland 63.
What?
Oh, wow.
Hey, you know what, Anthony? This team hasn't played that Maryland team.
No, they haven't.
Team, that team is no longer in college, I'm assuming. Some of those
Holy
guys
smokes.
63 to 33?
63 to 33.
In 2018?
In 2018.
Last year, maybe? Who? I don't know.
Wow.
Second to last year? That's rough, man.
That is rough.
You want to hear another rough stat, Anthony?
Of course.
This is from the 314. Anthony, the guys on ESPN at night said that the Falcons are 4 out of their last 38 on third downs.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible. Yeah.
They're not even trying.
No.
I think they are.
Hey, you can't be trying. If you're, what is it, 4 of 38?
4 of 38. Yeah. Nah, I've had a good year. Where'd they finish? Dead last? Where'd they finish? Third? Because the Saints exist? Yep. All right, moving on. Why don't we do an NFL Week 11 big game breakdown? Each of the big matchups in the National Football League. We'll break them down. By the way, we also have fantasy football start-sit advice. If you want to get in on the action, you can start sending in your questions to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646, for some fantasy football start-sit advice. If you want to send those in, start those in, and we'll do that at some point in the 5 o'clock hour. NFL Week 11 big game breakdown next. 5:04, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. All right, boys, you guys ready to break down these big games in the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the energy, guys. I like the energy on a Friday here in the Lou. All right, why don't we start off with Marsh's Minnesota Vikings hosting the Chicago Bears. Marsh, your biggest question about this matchup?
Biggest question?
Yep.
For me, it's the play calling, Anthony.
From
Kevin O'Connell.
Right.
And it's not, and when I say that, I'm not talking about like the routes and whatnot in terms of like him scheming people open and whatnot. It's more so of the game management of, okay, you need to throw on this down, or you need to do this, you need to do, it's that type of stuff. Like last week when they throw a Hail Mary on 3rd and 1 coming out of the half, and then the ball's intercepted, Jettas falls down. Mm-hmm. They intercept it. They go down and score. Not on and it wasn't a pick six, but they go down and score. And I'm like, why? What are we doing? Like you just had your running back, like just carving up the defense, running the football.
Yeah.
You got a young quarterback. Like keep the chains moving, man. Like keep one of the best quarterbacks in the league off the field. It's just stuff like that. Like I look at the Vikings, run on short yardage, they convert at 71%. When they pass on short yardage, they're converting at 21%. Third down conversion rate, 31st in the league. Short yardage, third or fourth down, 2 or less yards to gain, they're dead last. So that shows me, why are they dead last? Well, because they keep throwing the ball with short yardage. They're doing it too much, and they have no success at it. Mm-hmm. It's just stuff like that.
I got you.
Stuff like that. So
I feel you.
That's what it comes down to. Obviously, there's questions surrounding J.J. McCarthy. I feel like there will be the rest of the year, so that's kind of a given.
All right. Carey, your biggest question about this matchup?
Which version of Caleb Williams is going to show up? I think he's been doing a really good job. I think this Bears team is kind of growing into form of what Ben Johnson wants them to be, and all of the things that they're capable of doing. And they've been fun to watch. They're sitting at 6-3 right now. How does Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson kind of answer those blitzes that are going to be coming down the pike at them? And Brian Flores is going to heat them up. He's going to bring a lot of people in a lot of different places. And so it's going to be hard for a younger quarterback to decipher where the ball needs to go. But being decisive with the football and making sure you get it out of your hand quickly, I think that's going to be really important. And what they do offensively in terms of, I think they've been doing a really good job, the Bears have, with running the ball. DeAndre Swift last week, Kyle Manon guy who I love. I think they've done a really good job with those two guys. So how do you manage the blitz? And then on the opposing side, how do you get after J.J. McCarthy and force some of those errant throws? Marshy already has them for a pick. Might have a couple of them if he can't figure out where the ball needs to go. So how do you attack him and make it life uncomfortable for him as well?
Yeah, mine is just kind of the Bears and whether or not they can continue to manage high expectations. Each and every win that they have, the expectations continue to grow in a city that is absolutely desperate to see good football. I mean, they have been dying. I mean, the Bears have such a rich history of football fans that love the sport, are diehard fans, great city for sports, and the Bears just have always disappointed. Well, you're sitting here now, and you have won, what are they, 5-2? 6-3, but you could have lost to Cincinnati. You could have lost to the Giants. They're winning these games that they've normally coughed up. Traditionally, the Bears have been a poor road team. This season, thus far, they've gone on the road and they beat the Raiders, they beat the Commanders, which was a house of horrors last year, and they beat Cincinnati. They already got 3 road wins, but this is a divisional game. Brian Flores going to cook up something for Ben Johnson. So that's my big question, is whether or not the Bears can continue to manage those high expectations. All right, Carey, Bucks-Bills. Bucks-Bills, biggest question.
Which Josh Allen shows up? Like, is it the version of him that, I heard you saying earlier, is he going to put on the Superman cape and be the best player on the football field? Because if he's not, the Bucs might get after him. And I know that's hard for Bills fans to hear. Josh Allen is a great football player, but when you're so dependent on one person so much. It just makes life harder because if you're a good defensive coordinator, good head coach, what do? You try to limit the one thing that they do best, and that's him.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're going to try to find different ways. Todd Bowles does a great job of also scheming up blitzes and getting after the quarterback. So I'm sure they're going to do some things to make life uncomfortable for him. Is Josh Allen able to be Superman and bring this team a victory?
Marsh?
For me, it's can the Bucs carve up that Bills defense? You know, Josh Allen, he probably does have to be Superman, not only in this game, but probably the rest of the way because of that Bills defense.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you're taking on Baker Mayfield, who's a gritty player. They're probably ticked off that they lost last week to the Patriots. They're going to want to go out there and win. Same thing with the Bills, though. You know, they're coming off a terrible loss to Miami. Like, that just can't happen. So that's kind of my big question is which team is going to respond, and can this particular game jumpstart them in the right direction moving forward?
Yeah, mine is similar to what you guys discussed, specifically Carey, when it comes to the Superman cape. Both Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield have had to rescue their teams at various points this season. So which one puts on the Superman cape, or which one doesn't have to? The Bucs can't run the football. Bucky Irving has been injured for over a month now.
Mm-hmm.
Rashad White is not the dude. They're getting more carries for Sean Tucker. But it's really about that passing game, which doesn't have Mike Evans, which doesn't have Chris Godwin. So you're asking Baker Mayfield to basically work wonders with Mbuka, who's been a great rookie, but a rookie nonetheless, who's also been banged up, and Cade Otton, the tight end. That's it. Defensively, go ahead, Carey.
And the Bucs have, you mentioned it, dealt with injury. Mike Evans, collarbone. Chris Godwin hasn't played yet. I thought he would be back by now. Every week it seems like he's questionable, then he's out. Like, you don't know. Baker Mayfield is doing a lot of things with not a lot around him at this point.
Right, I agree. Conversely, as you've discussed, Carey, you've mentioned this a lot, Buffalo can't stop the run themselves.
No.
So if you can't, so who cracks here? And again, which quarterback, if it does come down to which quarterback, who puts on the Superman cape this weekend? All right, moving on. Seahawks and Rams. This one is fascinating. I think this game comes down to Sean McVay versus Mike Macdonald. And I heard Colin Cowherd talk about how Mike Macdonald is kind of like the defensive version of Sean McVay. Somebody who can think outside the box with his defensive schemes and things like that. Well, you got a classic head-to-head, big-time matchup that, you know, while the Rams are laying 3, I think they're only laying 3 because of home field advantage. I don't see a weakness right now for either of these teams to really exploit. But, Carey, maybe you do.
So I think this is going to be where the rubber meets the road. I think the Rams are much better than the Seattle Seahawks. And I think you'll see it this week.
Wow, much better.
I do. I think you'll see it this weekend. I think offensively, defensively, what they're capable of doing. Marshy, I heard you mentioning it earlier today, talking about Sam Darnold versus this Rams team. And those two teams he lost to last week, right?
Yeah,
it was
them,
the Rams.
them and the Lions.
Yeah, struggled. 4 of the losses were against those two teams. So you struggled against this team. It's still the same quarterback. Yes, you got different pieces around you. But I just think Sean McVay and what this offense is going to do and how the defense is going to get after Sam Darnold, I think it's going to be very uncomfortable. Last week gave me a little bit of a glimpse into who Seattle is. Seattle is a team that can be really good, but they should have beat the hell out of the Cardinals last week. And they were beating the hell out of them. And then they decided, okay, we can take our foot off the throttle and allow them to get back into the game.
You did not like that.
I did not like it at all. You turn the ball over. Because what happens is you become careless. Mm-hmm. And that's a team that's not knowing how to finish just yet or really, you know, put the team out the pasture, because that's what they should have done to the Cardinals. And they didn't. They said, okay, you know, we were up, we're good. Now we'll let you back in the game because we'll turn the ball over.
Yep.
The Los Angeles Rams have championship pedigree. I don't see that happening to them. I think they're gonna win by more than, what is it, 3.5?
It's only 3. Yeah, it's only 3. So it's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, 10 to 12 point victory for the Rams.
Okay.
So I'm looking at something that you mentioned, McVay versus McDonald. I wonder how McDonald, they stopped the Rams triple tight end set, which that particular set has produced one of, if not, I think the top offense in football in that specific set. And you look at the Rams last week against the 49ers, 30 of their 67 snaps, they had 3 tight ends out on the field, one of the highest rates by any NFL team in the past decade. A week earlier, 3 tight ends played 35 of the Rams' 80 plays in the 34-10 win over New Orleans, making a combined 10 catches for 114 yards and 2 scores. That's something that we're not really accustomed to seeing out of Sean McVay, but I think that's what makes him so great is because he adapts. And I'm just interested to see how that particular set for the Rams ends up playing a factor into this week against the Seahawks.
I'm going to keep it simple with the Chiefs and Broncos. My biggest question is which one of these teams is the real legit AFC West winner?
Yeah.
Like who does the crown deserve to remain on Denver, or are they just holding it in place until Kansas City fully gets its act together? I'm banking on the Chiefs going into Denver and win this game, but I feel like that's also just kind of what we've been accustomed to seeing, and maybe we're all just underselling Denver. The flip side of it is we have them pegged, which is they didn't look good against Oakland. They didn't look good against the Giants. They didn't look good against the Jets. And this is the game that they become exposed.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs, if the Chiefs win, we can say, definitively, okay, we're back in the place where we thought it should be. If Denver goes out and beats the hell out of the Chiefs have a problem. And it's not just the getting healthy or, getting over the suspension of Rashee Rice. It's not, some of the things. It's probably an inability to run the football, which they've struggled with at times this year. It's probably defense not being sound and doing some things that are uncharacteristic of them. I don't think the Denver Broncos should win this game. I think the Chiefs should beat the hell out of them. But if the Chiefs get beat and they get beat soundly, then the Chiefs probably have more problems than we thought. Because maybe the Denver, I still don't believe that Denver is a really good team. I know that sounds crazy. They're 8-2. They've only lost twice, but they don't do enough offensively. Defensively, they're outstanding, but offensively, it's kind of like they're just there so they don't mess it up. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Right.
And that's kind of how I feel about the Broncos offense at this point.
I do think that the Broncos could win this game, but for me, it's just because of their defense. Right, the defense continues to do what they do.
Right.
They stop Kansas City's offense. Well, then maybe you just need a few plays out of Bo Nix, which we know that he can provide, but as of late, it just looks really rocky. So I'm just intrigued to really see how this one pans out, because I think this week could be, again, and I said this with Buffalo in Tampa Bay, but not that this game in particular is super pivotal, but it is a division game. And perhaps you start seeing whoever wins keep going in that direction. Whoever loses, maybe they go in that direction. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too dramatic here. But
I mean, to Carey's point, if the Broncos if they handle Kansas City, then Carey's probably right. There's bigger issues here with the Chiefs than what maybe we're what we think.
Well, what if they don't handle Kansas City? Let's say they win by a field goal or something. It doesn't look pretty on the offense, but again, the defense steps up.
Then I think we still have the same questions that we do right now about both teams. Yeah. All right, finally, Philadelphia, Detroit. What a Sunday night football matchup that we have. This one is fascinating. You get a possible NFC playoff matchup here, maybe even NFC championship. Eagles starting to find themselves. All they do is win, and they don't, as Carey's mentioned, they don't care. But they're on a short week because they beat Green Bay on Monday Night Football. Meanwhile, the Lions have averaged 8.0 yards per play. They are gaining almost a first down on every play right now. They have been incredibly impressive. But the Eagles have been kind of ascending. They're putting things together. Yeah. So what do you got, Carey?
The Eagles are getting healthy defensively. Nolan Smith came back yesterday, added Jalen Phillips to that linebacker core. I think they're starting to get healthier on the defensive side, which obviously is going to allow them to hopefully prevent some of those big plays that you're talking about, those 8 yards per play. And then offensively, I said it yesterday, I wasn't mad with what A.J. Brown said. This is a player that just wants to help the team win, and he understands, man, we cannot continue to lean on our defense and not be as productive as we need to be offensively. Last year, Saquon was outstanding, offensive player of the year. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, like they all had big roles in what they did offensively, and that led them to a championship. He's looking at it, in my opinion, as complementary football. We're all on the same page. We're all working together. And if our offense is putting up points and our defense is making stops like they have been, we're going to be good. So I think that's been overblown as well when we're talking about A.J. Brown. He's just a football player, a passionate football player, a damn good football player that wants the ball in his hands, and I don't have an issue with that. So I think the Eagles are going to win this game. I love what Detroit is doing. I think they have been fantastic. They've been special. Dan Campbell taking over the play calling. They were outstanding last week, but I think the Eagles are the better team, and I think they should win at home.
I think for me, win or lose, my sole focus on this game is the Eagles. If they win, then it's one of those like, man, this team, like, despite what the media says, they just, like Carey's been saying, they just continue to win. They can kind of move through all this stuff. It continues to happen, but all they do is win. If they lose, well, then it's like, okay, there seems to be an issue, and it sort of has reared its ugly head against I would say, a really good team in the Lions. And I know they've dropped a few games, but that's still a really good team. If the Lions lose, I don't really see anything different with them, you know?
Yeah, a volatile team almost. A team that's capable of beating anybody in the National Football League, but in the right circumstances, maybe outdoors, maybe some poor weather this week in Philadelphia, they could lose. Yeah, I'm with you with that. They're still a dome team. Yeah. They're explosive, but they're still there's a question of, okay, get Jared Goff in the elements against a good team and see what happens. All right, we've got a quick fantasy football start-sit segment coming up. So if you got those questions, what questions do you have about certain players this week in fantasy football? Send them into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll get through as many questions as possible next on 101 ESPN. So we got a great football weekend ahead of us. We also have some SLU basketball, baby. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. 7 o'clock Saturday night. SLU versus Grand Canyon. And this one's going to be fun. For tickets, visit SLUBillikens.com. Again, SLUBillikens.com. Grand Canyon, the Lopes picked to finish fourth in the Mountain West preseason poll. First year in the Mountain West, but SLU's been fantastic at home. How fantastic? The Billikens are 221-79 all-time on their home court at Chaffetz Arena. Robbie Avila leads the Billikens with 16.5 points per game. He's been named to some of the preseason watch lists for the Naismith, the Oscar Robertson Trophy, and the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award. They look fantastic this year. They also feature a couple of 1,000-point scorers. I mentioned one in Robbie Avila. They also have Paul Otieno and Dion Brown. So the Billikens are rolling right now. They're 3-0. They look fantastic. And again, they look great at Chaffetz Arena. This is the 111th season of Billiken basketball. Check them out tomorrow night, November 15th at 7 o'clock versus Grand Canyon. For tickets, SLUBillikens.com. Again, SLUBillikens.com. All right, me, Marsh, Carey will try to help you win some fantasy football matchups this weekend. Shoot us. Send us your fantasy football start sit questions at 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. All right, fire away, Marsh.
All right, let's go to the 314 start sit. Cortland Sutton, Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, Khalil Shakir. I have 2 spots open for those 4.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sutton. What'd you say? Sutton, Shakir. Who?
Deebo Samuel. And Keenan Allen.
Okay, here's where I'm going with this, Carey. I'm with you on Sutton, and I would start Keenan Allen. Shakir with Buffalo. I think they're going to be able to run the ball, and it's going to be more of a James Cook game. Deebo is paired up with Marcus Mariota. I could see Washington having some success on the ground in that one and not needing the shootout. The Jacksonville's defense is terrible, and Denver may have to win in a shootout. So Sutton and Allen for me. What about you, Carey?
I'm okay with that. I would have probably went. I might have gone Shakir because when Josh Allen does need a big throw, need a big play, he's looking for Khalil Shakir. So, but I'm okay with going with Keenan Allen. Or you said Deebo. You said Keenan, right?
I said Keenan Allen and Sutton. Yep.
Yeah, Sutton. I'm fine with that.
From the 314 Standard League, Ted McMillan or Romeo Doubs?
McMillan.
Oh, Ted McMillan. Yeah, Ted is the number 1 receiver in Carolina. If Bryce Young is throwing the football, he's looking for him. Mm-hmm. Romeo Doubs, I said it the other day, the Packers got a lot of guys that are a lot alike, and they throw it to all of them. And Jordan Love ain't been playing great.
McMillan, by the way, led the team with 8 targets the last time the Panthers faced the Falcons. That one's indoors, too, so you don't have to worry about any elements like the Packers and Giants.
From the 314, actually, this is from Jen. I have 2 flex spots. Start R.J. Harvey or Kamani Vidal or Travis Etienne. Thanks, fellas.
In that case, I'd go with I'd go with the better player. I'd go with Vidal.
Etienne? You think?
Etienne. Excuse me. You threw me off with Vidal. I would go with I'd go with the better player. I don't trust the Broncos situation with running back. Vidal has been good of late, but Travis Etienne, they get him involved on the ground and through the air. I would go with Etienne on that one.
Yeah, I like Vidal. I think they are. We know Jim Harbaugh wants to run the football with the Chargers, and I think if you're going to have complimentary ball, I might go with Vidal on that instead of Travis Etienne. The Jaguars are really boom or bust. Like, you don't know what version you're going to get from them. To start the year, Travis Etienne and that offense looked really good. Trevor Lawrence was playing well. I don't know what I'm going to get from them enough. I know Vidal probably going to get the ball 15 to 20 times and get an opportunity to make some big plays.
All right, Carrot wants to know, start or sit, Superflex League, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford. Which 2 should I start?
Wow.
Oh, Matthew Stafford. Anthony, I'm not sitting him on the bench. And I'm probably going Jalen Hurts.
Well, it's just 1, right? You said 2.
Two.
Super flex.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go with the Sam Darnold and Matthew Stafford combo, hoping that it's an absolute shootout?
I'm going to go with Stafford and Baker. Here's why. Game script matters for quarterbacks. And if you're Philly, you're not, your passing game really hasn't popped. Darnold's intriguing, but I want Baker in there because how they going to move the ball? I know that Buffalo, the run defense has not been good, but Tampa can't run the football.
Right.
I think Baker may put the ball in the air 40 times.
That don't mean it's going to be good, Anthony.
It doesn't, but I'm gonna take the opportunity. And Stafford, they want to throw the ball everywhere from the field. I know Kyron Williams had a couple of touchdowns last week, but Stafford still registered a couple touchdowns. He's too hot to sit, and I'm going to go with the game script with Baker. What about you?
Yeah, I'm going Stafford because, like you said, I think he's too hot to sit. You can't have him on your bench. I think he's been playing outstanding. He's MVP candidate. And I'm going with Jalen Hurts because we've heard all of this talk. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. So I think he's going to attempt to get the ball to A.J. Brown. We know when you get around the goal line, it's going to be tush-push time, so you probably have a couple of opportunities there for rushing touchdowns. If he rushes 2 touchdowns and throws for another 1 or 2, that's a hell of a day. So I always like Jalen Hurts in these situations.
Let's do one more here from the 636. Kenneth Walker or Jordan Mason, full PPR?
Kenneth Walker.
Walker or Jordan Mason. Yeah. Man, Kenneth Walker. They don't love Kenneth Walker, though.
They don't hate him.
They don't love him.
Well, they're trying, Anthony. He's getting his touches.
What's the status of Aaron Jones? Is he questionable?
I don't believe so.
That's part of the reason.
I think he's banged up. I got to go with Walker.
Yeah, they ran the ball 13 times last week. The Vikings.
Yeah. So they ain't gonna run.
And Jordan Mason, they don't trust him in pass protection.
Yeah, so no. That's a no.
If you're trying, I'm just telling you, they don't like running the football.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
I have Jordan Mason, and I'll tell you right now, he is not starting on my team.
That's fair. So here's the deal. You play Kenneth Walker, you pick up those 4.5 points, and call it a day.
Oh,
at least it'll be more than the one that you get out of Jordan Mason. You know what I mean?
Incoming big game for Jordan Mason.
No. Kenneth Walker, gonna get it down to the 1. Zach Charbonnet gonna put it in. Know what I mean? That's how it go. That's how football go. All right. Let's get into our Week 12 impact on the college football playoff. I got some questions for Marsh and Carey related to the matchups for college football as it relates to the playoff. That's next on 101 ESPN. Remodeling your home should be exciting. It shouldn't be stressful. If you ever gone with the wrong remodeler, you know that it winds up being stressful. You ever see what happens when someone hires the wrong designer, doesn't go with a company like Mosby Building Arts? That open concept turns into basically having no walls. The modern vibe looks more like a mystery project, and suddenly you've got remodeling regret. But when you go with Mosby Building Arts, you're going with the team with over 70 years of experience. And Mosby treats your home, and I can speak from personal experience on this, they treat your home as if it's their own. And their team of designers, architects, and craftsmen handle every detail with honesty, precision, and respect. They do such a great job when it comes to kitchens, baths, basements, doors, siding, gutters. They do it all, and they do it better than anybody. CallMosby.com is the website to schedule your free consultation. When you do wind up talking to them and talking to them about your remodeling project, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We'll have Blues pregame for you in less than 30 minutes. It starts at 6 as the Blues take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Puck drop will be at 7. And if you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
This Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis live from Champaign. Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter live from St. Louis. College football. All right, guys, got a couple of questions for you in relation to the college football playoff and, of course, the Week 12 games. Now, we kind of broke things down a couple of segments ago, but let's tie it into the college football playoff, shall we? At this point, do you guys believe that the top 4 is locked in? The top 4 being, of course, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama. Do you guys think the top 4 is locked in?
I think the top 3 are. Ooh. Alabama still has who they got Oklahoma
and possibly,
Illinois, but then they got at Auburn. And then possibly the SEC championship game. I don't know how that weighs into who becomes that 4th seed or who gets the higher seeding. I would assume that it's the team that wins the SEC championship game. So I don't know that Alabama is a lock, but I do think Ohio State and Indiana are good.
Yeah, they should be.
They'll probably be playing each other in the Big Ten championship game. So you'll still probably have them at 1 and 2 unless it's just a really, really bad outing by one of those.
Yeah, or if A&M wins the SEC championship, maybe they move up to 2 and Indiana falls to 3 or something. But
correct.
I don't know. I can see this being the I could see this being the 4 because you would get the same concept in the SEC. Let's say Alabama beats A&M, right? Alabama winds up being 11-1. A&M winds up being their 1 losses to Alabama. Mm-hmm. It'd be the same situation in my opinion. So
yeah,
I'll say that these four are locked in, but I feel like I'm on the riskier side of it, Carey. I think you're probably going to be right in the end. What about you, Marsh? You think the top 4 is locked in?
Yeah, locked in terms of making the playoff, yes.
No, maybe not in exact order, but those 4 teams being the top 4 teams.
Oh,
because those are the buys. Those are the teams that get the buys.
Wow. Okay. Well, here's the thing: Ohio State, and I know they have been at number 1 for basically the entire year outside the first game when they played Texas, who was number 1 at the time. And I know Michigan isn't the same team that they were a few years ago, but we can't discount that game by any means. So let's say that for whatever reason they lose to Michigan again, like they did last year.
And the year before, and the year before that.
And then Big Ten championship game comes around and they lose again.
Ooh.
Well, at that point, you can't be in the top 4 with 2 losses.
No.
Especially at this time of the year, losing 2 big-time games, which would be back-to-back.
Wow.
You're not a top 4 team. So do I see that happening? No. I think this Ohio State team is a little bit different. Although the team last year won the national championship and they lost to Michigan.
Mm-hmm. A bad Michigan team.
A bad Michigan team, and this is a better Michigan team. So who knows? It is at the big house. That matters, right? So okay. No, I don't know if everybody's locked in per se. Mm-hmm. So I'll say no.
Okay, fair enough. Which current playoff team do you think is most in danger of losing its current spot? Which current playoff team do you feel like is most in danger? I got mine. Marsh, I think you and I are on the same page. Actually, you know what? I was going to go with this team, but I think there's another team that's most in danger.
Well, you think it's Texas?
I was going to say Texas.
Nah, who do you got now?
Well, actually, I'm sorry. Is Oklahoma in the college football playoff right now? They're the team They got left out, right?
Works, Anthony, I don't know. On the rankings, they are, but
No, they're not. I'll say Texas.
Yeah,
it's Texas. I think Texas loses to Georgia this week. Texas is out, and if they don't lose to Georgia this week, they'll lose to A&M by the end of the year.
What about Miami? They're in it right now.
Yeah,
because of the whole ACC thing.
I almost feel like choosing an ACC team for this question is just kind of like it's just a cop out.
Same thing with USF.
I feel like it's more of a cop out to take an ACC team than it would be a group of 5.
Wow.
Similar idea, but because this ACC has been just a mess. And we're still talking about Pitt. Pitt controls its own destiny, which is weird. You know what I mean? No, but we haven't talked about Pitt until right now.
We haven't. No one. I haven't. Till Pat
lost to
Narduzzi said whatever he said the other day.
Carey, they lost to West Virginia. West Virginia's terrible this year. Terrible.
That's the backyard brawl, though, Anthony. Anything can happen. Yeah, anything can happen in the backyard brawl. You got to understand that. You got to know that.
What about
I'll say something that speaks to you, Carey, about Pitt. At the end of the third quarter, well, with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, my Central Michigan Chippewas were down 7 at Pittsburgh earlier this year. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Now, how do you feel about Pat Narduzzi's Panthers?
Yeah, that drink all is a hell of a coach.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about Ole Miss? I know they're a one-loss team right now. They don't really have anybody crazy on their schedule. Shout out Gator. They take on the Florida Gators tomorrow. But I don't know. Do you feel like Ole Miss is in for a letdown? I feel like they sort of have one every year.
No,
they're actually in a good position because they're not going to play in the SEC championship game. So they win their last 2 games, more than likely. I don't see a way where they're not in the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I'm with you. But no, I don't see a letdown. I know what you're saying because Florida got waxed last week at Kentucky. They're banged up. They're either banged. Players are either banged up or like some of them are sitting out because they've kind of figured they're going into the transfer portal. Carey, did you say yours on this one? Who's most vulnerable? I'd say Texas.
I said Texas.
Okay.
Yep.
Which is the best dark horse candidate to sneak in? The best dark horse.
Sneak in or to actually win?
No. Just get in. Just get into the playoffs.
I'll go Vanderbilt.
Okay.
They're on the outside looking in, but there's a way. I mean, if a couple of the teams in front of them lose that Texas game, that Texas-Georgia game, Texas loses, they're going to be out of that positioning that could bump Vanderbilt up if they go to Kentucky, if they play Kentucky and beat them, which they should, and then they go to Tennessee and beat them as well. I can see Vanderbilt finding a way into that college football playoffs as a 2-loss SEC team. If you have a couple of 3-loss SEC teams that were in front of them and losing those games, they fall their way out of it.
Marsh's got a smirk on his face. This is interesting. He's got a smirk on his face, CD. I don't know if you're looking at the YouTube channel, but what do you got, Marsh?
A 2-loss team. They've only played one team that was ranked all year. They lost to said team. They have 2 losses. The other loss that they had was to a team that is currently ranked. We talked about them earlier. I just mentioned them. But if you beat the number 1 team in the nation at the end of the year and have 2 losses and you're a Big Ten team, do you sneak in as the Michigan Wolverines?
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. I like that one.
I mean, that is like dark horse.
That is. So
you got to keep. If they beat the number 1 team in the nation, you have 2 losses. You're in the Big Ten. There's a conversation to be had.
I'm with Marsh on this one.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, I'll give you. I gave you I think I said this one yesterday, so I'll stick with this one. The Utah Utes. It's similar to Michigan, although they won't play the number 1 team. They're 4-2 within their conference, so they got 2 losses already. BYU was 1, Texas Tech was another. 2 teams that were ranked. If BYU loses to TCU and Cincinnati the next 2 weeks, which is possible, not probable but possible. Utah, if they run the table, they can get in the Big 12 championship game, get another crack at Texas Tech. I don't see it happening, but Utah will be my dark horse team. All right, we got to wrap things up next here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Missouri, get ready. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, is coming soon. And starting December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to home runs to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Plus, with live betting, you can even get in on the action after the game is already started. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. Just visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. This way, you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 plus and present in Missouri. First online, real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts December 1st, 2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All of the podcasts brought to you by Shave Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today. Carey, what'd you learn?
You know, I learned how to set up my microphone and headphones without any issues today.
Nice.
Nice job, CJ.
None.
Nice job.
No technical issues whatsoever.
Nice.
Feeling good, man.
Good. Marsh? What'd you learn?
I learned a lot about philosophy today, Anthony. Jamie had some great words to say. I already forgot them, but yeah, they were good.
Well, good. Nice. I learned that when it's this late in the year, we might need to start turning on some lights.
I can't see you at all. I mean, I don't know that you have a shirt on, Anthony. I'm just being honest.
Well, hey, best to be left up to the imagination, you know? Yeah, some people saying, like Gator, for example, Gator in the Snake Pit, he wants me to whisper and act like I'm reading a bedtime story to him. And he requested green eggs and ham, please. Let's see here. DLW said, Anthony sitting like that makes me think of Billy Squires in the Dark. Yeah. So, anyways, we might need to turn on some lights.
Yeah, maybe one light or two.
Yeah.
We can dim it.
We can dim it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty dark in there.
All right, Marsh. What do you got for us?
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
Well, speaking of Anthony, your floating head is our third star of the day. It does look like your head is floating.
Yeah.
It really does.
It's good. It's nice.
Second star of the day goes out to philosophy and our philosopher, Jamie Rivers.
Some of the great philosophizers right here in the studio.
First star of the day goes out to Hunter Skinner, who makes his NHL debut tonight. Congratulations to him. Hopefully he has a great game and the Blues come out with a victory tonight.
Nice. Yeah. Let's go to that Hunter Skinner concert later, too. Shout out
Leonard Skinner is what you're thinking of.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Can you name one?
Nope, don't ask me what they say.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Don't forget, we got Blues Flyers pregame starting in 5 minutes here on 101 ESPN. We got the puck drop for you at 7 o'clock. Let's get a dub here, Blues. So we got all the Blues coverage for you, Blues Radio Network and 101 ESPN. Over the weekend, we got some football for you, Texas A&M, South Carolina tomorrow, and then, of course, the Blues and Golden Knights tomorrow as well. Everybody have a great weekend. Appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you back here on Monday here in the Fast Lane. See you.